following is an exclusive presentation of Wayne County's Sports Voice, Sports Radio 90.7, WFGH, Fort Gay. It's time to look at tonight's high school football matchup with Countdown to Kickoff, featuring an in-depth preview of tonight's contest and comments from both coaches. Let's go to the field and start the Countdown to Kickoff on Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
And good evening, everyone, from beautiful Madison. Is that where we are, Ryan?
West Madison, West Virginia.
West Madison, West Virginia. Beautiful drive coming through the mountains. This place is just carved right in between the mountains here of West Virginia. Tim Carper, along with Ryan Epling, with you here this evening. Ryan coming down from his, he's slumming from his ESPN gig.
Oh, come on.
To come down and
well, you didn't wait long to get into that, did you?
to come down and slum with us here on the Gridiron Sports Network. You did a great job last night. I watched for that game. I have done volleyball once. It is not an easy game to do color or play-by-play or any kind of coverage on.
No, that was tricky. That was the first volleyball match I've done anything for like that in 14 or so years. And but you know, we're on a Wayne County radio station. The color commentator, a native Wayne Countyan. Sports information director, native Wayne Countyan. The official scorekeeper, native Wayne Countyan. So, you know, I felt like I was right at home.
Right at home. Just like you guys make me feel right at home, and I'm not from anywhere near Wayne County, but I have a blast crossing the Big Sandy to come up, and nice drive from Grayson today, and took my time and came through the beautiful hills and valleys of West Virginia. It seems like I went through Kanawha County about 4 times coming up here, because I know I weaved into Lincoln County at one point, had no idea there. I saw Kanawha County again, and then I saw Boone County. I think we're in Boone County, right?
We are in Boone County, yes.
Boone County. I'm getting these road games are giving me a great geography lesson in West Virginia. We've got the Wayne Pioneers taking on the Scott Skyhawks here this evening. And last season, Scott defeated Wayne in a pretty lopsided game. 41-6 was that final score. Wayne coming in 1-0 under Coach Tom Harmon. Coach Jeremy Dolan has his Skyhawks at 1-0 as well. I think we've got some we having a prayer or something? So we're going to go ahead and take our break. We'll be right back.
This football broadcast is brought to you in part by our fine community partner, Rustic Ravines. Joe and the gang will be hosting their world-famous all-you-can-eat dinner buffet Saturday, September 3rd from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085. Rustic Ravines, a proud community partner of Pioneer Football.
The real Don Steele. Live from the 60s.
3, 2, 1, 0. Godspeed, John Glenn.
Oh, that view is tremendous.
We choose to go to the moon.
It's self-evident that all men are created equal.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Only Congress has the power to declare war.
Something has happened in the motorcade route. Something, I repeat, has happened in the motorcade route.
The answer is blowing away.
30 million persons found themselves without lights, subways, elevators, air conditioning. Where were you when the lights went out?
Oh, yeah. Tell you something. Oh, the times they are changing.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop.
Honorable end to the war in Vietnam. I am ready to lead our country.
Now it's the same old song. Let's jump with the little girl on a magic carpet ride. Live from the 60s.
And yours truly.
Real Don Steele.
Yeah. Live from the 60s, Monday at 7 on WFGH. You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 WFGH.
Welcome back to Scott High School. Wayne Pioneers set to take on the Scott Skyhawks. Last week, Wayne came away with a 41-0 win over the Rebels of Tulsa in that season and home opener. And stats a bit misleading from that game, Ryan, basically because A shortened second half, running clock in the fourth quarter. Coach Harmon played his starters the first half, but not so much in the second half. So it's kind of hard to gauge where they are right now.
Yeah, that was not a competitive game, just the way that played out. Tulsa's going to, Tulsa's got a young team, and it's going to take a little while for them to kind of gel together and play at the high school level. They had some excellent young kids, and they won a middle school county championship at Fort Gay last year, and that's not easy to do in Wayne County. If you kind of look over the years, schools that win the middle school championship tend to have good high school teams once they get up there. So you got to give them some time, but they're not there yet. They're not ready for playing against 17 and 18-year-olds like you do at this level, and so not a whole lot you could take from that. I thought Wayne tackled well. I thought Wayne looked reasonably athletic against Tulsa on the outside. They kind of did the new things they do within their offense pretty well.
Right.
And that's really all you could take from it. I don't think you take any more or less from it.
That's exactly right. Scott defeated a very tough Cardinal Conference rival last week in Herbert Hoover. 50-19. The game was a lot closer than that final score. I was watching part of that game on some replays and so forth, and it was a one-touchdown game late in the third quarter. So a little closer than that score might indicate. But man, they've got some weapons. Matt Fry, the quarterback, he likes to throw that ball, and he throws it all around. They've got Brenninger and Cooper in the backfield, who are just a tough tandem. And I think they put up 276 yards through the air last week, and somewhere around 280 on the ground. So I mean,
they were balanced.
They were very balanced, and just a good football team.
I think one of the best compliments you can give a player, in this case for Matt Fry, is you like to watch him play against everybody but your team.
Right.
He's an excellent dual threat player. Last week against Hoover, 13 of 18 passing, 276 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 4 times for 18 yards. He's more of a threat to run, though, than what that showed.
Right.
He didn't have to tuck it and run. He was able to throw it to his receivers. And Carson Brenninger, one of the fastest players, at least in Class AA, perhaps one of the faster players statewide. His numbers last week: 4 carries, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 90-yard run.
Right.
And receiving, 5 catches, 87 yards, and 2 more scores, along of 62 on that. So you're talking about a kid that touched the ball 9 times last week and scored 4 touchdowns and accounted for more than 200 yards of offense.
Unreal.
So definitely some weaponry to go around Fry.
Well, his speed, along with Cooper's bulkiness, I guess, a true fullback downhill type runner, you've got to be ready for either one. And you never know what Coach Dolan's going to pull out. And that's what a good coach does. He figures out what he can do. Defense is going to try to take away something, so you do the other when you're balanced like that.
To me, the best spread offenses, and this is somewhat of a spread that Scott runs, but they have a hammer in the backfield.
Yeah.
And that's what Cooper is.
Right.
He was a converted tight end. Actually, the first game he played running back last year was at Wayne.
Right.
They had to change his jersey number and everything. But he had 17 carries, 122 yards, and a touchdown last week against Herbert Hoover. So he's definitely gotten accustomed to playing in that role, and he's having a lot of success there over the latter portion of last year and early on this season.
And the Pioneer defense is also going to have to know where Fry is, because if he doesn't throw the ball, he's very apt to tuck and run and a very capable runner. We saw that last year.
Yeah, that game last year, 41-6 was the final, and Scott dominated statistically, but Wayne was inside the 20-yard line 4 times and did not score.
Didn't score, yeah.
So, you're a player or two here or there from being a little bit closer. But one thing in that game that stood out to me was that Fry broke a long run, maybe about 80 yards or so, late in that game last year, and that was when you could tell Wayne had just finally been broken.
Right.
They really fought through that game. 41-6 was the final. Again, if you look at the stats, that's probably an accurate outcome, but the way the game played out, it could have been a lot closer. You're talking about a drop interception,
right?
From really changing the way that game turned out. But you have to make those plays. And good teams will make those plays, and to be a good team, you have to make those plays.
And youth and inexperience no longer an excuse for the Wayne Pioneers, as often last year we gave them the benefit of the doubt in that situation because they were young and very inexperienced. This year, most of those kids are back, and so they know what it takes to win here in the Cardinal Conference. We're going to take a break, come back, we'll talk with Coach Tom Harmon and Coach Jeremy Dolan, and says the pregame continues here, brought to you by Rustic Ravines. By the way, that commercial we played, there's a date mistake. That the all-you-can-eat buffet and all that good stuff is tomorrow, not the 3rd. It's tomorrow. So tomorrow at Rustic Ravines, join the gang. All-you-can-eat buffet, $15, live music. I mean, it's great. It's a great place. So we thank them for their partnership and with us here on Pioneer Football. So give those guys a look. We're on Facebook. Check them out. They got some great stuff. Back in a moment here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This sports presentation is brought to you by our valued community partner, Rustic Ravines. Here's what the Evans family had to say about their experience.
We had the best time. Everyone was friendly, professional, and made us feel welcomed. We rented a side-by-side for a 5-hour ride with our guide through the beautiful mountains of West Virginia. We highly recommend, and we'll be back.
Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085.
I am an American soldier.
I'm a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always lay fish first.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined.
Physically and mentally tough.
Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army Strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
As we recognize the service of America's men and women in uniform, let's also honor the families who sacrifice so much every day. Military families endure frequent deployments and separations. They carry on while their loved ones are sent into harm's way and wait patiently for their safe return. If you really want to honor a veteran, look for ways to support their families and thank them for their sacrifices.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 WFGH.
Welcome back in to the Rustic Ravines pregame show. Pioneer football here on the Gridiron Sports Network. And, Coach, let's talk a little bit about last week. Tough game to gauge. There wasn't a lot of flow to the game because of all the injuries. And then you've got, the weather. And just to be quite honest, not a super opponent. So can you really gauge much from what you did last week?
No. I mean, what you can gauge from it is to do what you're supposed to do, and we did do that. We stubbed our toe a little bit there first series, but after that we just kind of did what you're supposed to do when you're playing a team that's young and inferior. And, we put them away quick, got some young guys in there, got some experience, and that's what you're supposed to do. Now, this week's, is a different animal. I mean, we go from the outhouse, well, I'm not going to say outhouse, but outhouse to the penthouse, you know what I'm saying? And as far as talent level at this time, so it'll be a challenge for us.
Looking at your offensive side of the football, you were very balanced in throwing the ball and running the ball. Is that something, we talked before the game, you said you were going to try to do something like that. Is that your game plan for the season as teams allow?
Everybody wants to be balanced. I mean, you do what your talent allows you to do. And, of course, we still feel the surest and safest way to win a football game is to run it down people's throat. And if we can do that, that's what we're going to do. But, we're fortunate this year. Fisher is he's a kid that can throw it a little bit, and he's a kid that can run it a little bit. And probably more importantly than that is we have more than one guy that can go make plays and catch footballs. And so, the combination of that's allowing us to do that. It's not very many times in high school football that you can put all that package together and be able to have that balance.
Right. By the way, defensively, I did look. You did have a nose on the roster. I misclicked that one, so it was my fault last week.
We had one on the roster, but I'm not sure he plays it well. But I'm just kidding.
Defense looked well last week. Again, I know you weren't playing a superior opponent by any stretch, but went to the three-man front, and linebackers were flying all over the place. Is speed on that defense a key for you right now?
Well, again, that's, from a secondary standpoint, we got some guys that got a little bit of length to them. And they can run a little bit, catch a little bit. So you put them out there. But, as usual, those guys that are down in there in the trenches, they're going to determine the big games. And hopefully, as we move forward here, these guys that, with their size and athleticism, will be able to compete with these teams that like to throw it all over the place all the time. So, hopefully we can get in there and play tough. And, like tonight, we're playing a team that's very balanced. They're gonna throw it and run it, and they do both equally well. So that's where you figure out if you've got a good defense or not.
Looking at this opponent last week, beat a pretty good Herbert Hoover team. Closer game than what the final score. I know in the third quarter it was a touchdown football game, but nonetheless, you got to watch Matt Fry, who can flat out fling it everywhere. If they got a couple running backs who can run the ball, as you said, you got to be pretty well balanced on your defensive side.
Well, they're an outstanding team. Like you said, it all starts with their quarterback. He's a very calm guy. He's a senior now. You talk about watching, got to watch for him. And the big thing is we don't watch him too much because he can run everywhere. And, he tends to know what he wants to do with the football. I mean, this is a place that's full of confidence right now, and they got a good reason to feel that way.
I mean, look at, I know you were talking to Joe there, just the amenities that they have here is that of a championship football program. They're trying to build something here, and that means a lot to a young man.
Well, I don't know. Seems like we won a lot of games when we had boxes to jump on and mud to waller in and not brand name jerseys, but that stuff don't win you games. But it is a smaller community, and they've made a commitment to be good, and it shows up in their football team so far.
What do you got to do tonight against their explosive, balanced offense?
Tonight against their offense, the number one thing is get a feel for what they want to do and what they feel like. They do so many things well, they're not sure what they do the best. Right. So far, I mean, the 3 times that we've seen them, but they're going to try to run the football and mix it around, but it all centers around their quarterback and being able to contain and not let him run all over the yard tonight.
Offensively, what do you got to do?
Offensively, score. I mean, we got to figure out and, get a feel for what they're trying to take away from us and attack them from that point on. But, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do anything. We're not going to be, no way we're going to be able to exclusively pass, and we're going to have to get in there. And when they know we're running it at this place, we're going to have to be able to do it, and that's what good teams do.
Coach, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Coach Tom Harmon, Wayne Pioneers. You're listening to Pioneer Football on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This presentation of Pioneer Football is sponsored by Rustic Ravines. Rustic Ravines offers deluxe cabin rentals and special event planning, as well as some of the best ATV riding and hiking trails in the country. You'll also find kayaking and canoeing, a 3D bow range, fishing, hunting, golfing, and a pet and horse-friendly resort. Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook or 304-385-1085. Get ready for all the exciting, hard-hitting sounds of the gridiron. High school football is on the air. Now, let's head to the stadium for all the play-by-play action on Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
Welcome back in to the Rustic Ravines pregame show. Pioneer Football here on the Gridiron Sports. Welcome back in to the Rustic Ravines pregame show. Talking to Coach Jeremy Dolan. Coach, big win for your squad in the Cardinal Conference last week against Hoover. Talk about your team's performance.
Open a season like that against a really good opponent and put on a, kind of win that we did. I was real proud of the boys. Thought we played real well up front and blocked and played in the trenches real well. And then, of course, Matt came out and made all the throws he needed to make. And we have plenty of offensive weapons, and we was able to spread the ball around. And Brinegar and Cooper both put up over 100 yards rushing. and defensively we settled in after about the second drive. They were pounding it down our throat a little bit. We had to make a couple adjustments with our linebacking core. Once we made those adjustments, we were able to stop them a little bit there on defense and settled in, had a nice victory.
I know most football coaches anyway like to be balanced. You were very balanced last week in looking at your numbers of plays anyway. You threw the ball about as many times as you ran the ball. Is that what you want to do in every game?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our stats from last year, we finished with 307 pass plays to 304 run plays. Last week, I think it was like 18 to 24, something like that. But yardage-wise, I think it was 276 passing to 280 rushing. So, we're pretty balanced. We want to keep defense kind of guessing on what we're doing. And, and we got multiple weapons, and hopefully, it allows us to prevent defenses from keying on certain areas and certain people.
Talk a little bit about Wayne. Not a real good gauge last week, playing a relatively weaker opponent and sloppy game, lots of penalties. But what did you take from that game?
Well, they looked a lot different on film compared to what they've had in the past. Tommy's been pretty heavy wing T for the most part, and I noticed they threw the ball a lot last week. So, I thought, and then we looked at some of their scrimmages, that they had, and so they look a little differently offensively. Whenever you play a wing team, you're going to get physicality, and that's what we've prepared for all week and told the boys, that it's going to be physical up front, and even though they may throw the ball a little more, you're still going to have to be prepared to stop that run, and we know they're going to try to get downhill on us.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of wing T concepts, even though he's kind of running a pistol, I guess you would call. So assignment football?
Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of what we do on offense is some wing T concepts and stuff. We just run it out of a spread and stuff. So, but it's a lot of the same thing. Gap assignments, knowing where the guards are going and, watching for the misdirection.
A couple things you got to do not to win now, Coach.
Well, we can't make a lot of stupid penalties. Last week, as well as we did play, I felt like we had a lot of unnecessary penalties, and so I want to clean that up. And some of that's first game stuff you got to work through. Some of it's poor decision making, so I want to definitely get that cleaned up. That's the biggest thing right now is just cleaning up the unnecessary penalties.
Coach, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Coach Jeremy Dolan of the Scott Skyhawks. They're taking on the Wayne Pioneers next here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This presentation of Pioneer Football is sponsored by Rustic Ravines. Rustic Ravines offers deluxe cabin rentals and special event planning, as well as some of the best ATV riding and hiking trails in the country. You'll also find kayaking and canoeing, a 3D bow range, fishing, hunting, golfing, and a pet and horse-friendly resort. Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM WFGH.
Tim Carper, Ryan Epling with you here from Scott High School in Madison, West Virginia. West Madison, West Virginia to be exact, I suppose. And we are set to bring you Scott Skyhawks hosting the Wayne Pioneers. The captains for the Skyhawks are at midfield. Yet to see the captains for the Pioneers just yet. Still getting some pregame instruction from Coach Tom Harmon and his coaching staff. Matt Fry will be one of the captains out there, along with Chase Dials. Also is Preston Cooper and Braden Queen. That's your captains for the Scott Skyhawks. They are going to be playing the national anthem here in just a moment, so we will step away and take a break when they begin the national anthem, and possibly come in at the end of it. But nonetheless, we will do our best to not talk over the national anthem, as Ryan and I will have to remove our headsets and also our hats and honor America with the playing of our national anthem here by the Scott Skyhawk Marching Band, and a good-looking group of young people they are. And so we'll go ahead and take a break, and we will return here in just a moment to the Pioneers taking on the Skyhawks. You're hearing it all right here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This sports presentation is brought to you by our valued community partner, Rustic Ravines. Here's what the Evans family had to say about their experience.
We had the best time. Everyone was friendly, professional, and made us feel welcomed. We rented a side-by-side for a 5-hour ride with our guide through the beautiful mountains of West Virginia. We highly recommend, and we'll be back.
Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM WFGH.
Excellent job on the national anthem there by the marching band of Scott High School. Great job. That's a good-sized band, too, Ryan.
That's a good-sized band. They've been at it since 4 o'clock this morning.
Wow.
We had Fired Up Friday on WSAZ, was live here at Scott High School. And they were here when our people got here at 4:45, and they were ready to go. They played all the way through till 7 o'clock, and they did a really good job. As the community is fired up, and rightfully so, over their football squad, and they've had a lot of success. Made it to the second round of the playoffs last year. Honestly, they had some injuries that hit them late in the year that probably affected how well they could make a run in the postseason. And if they stay healthy, this is the type of team that you look at playing around Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Caden Watts, Jackson Dameron, Braden Eves, and Colton Mathis, the captains for the Wayne Pioneers, as they meet at midfield with the officiating crew. Wayne will be wearing their white tops with black helmets and black bottoms. Red numerals trimmed in black, a lot easier to see this week, as the Skyhawks have all gold in the tops and bottoms, black helmets. They have black numerals, easier to see than what we had last week, Ryan.
Yeah, well, we were looking through a rainy window and numbers that couldn't be seen, and it was
those powder blue uniforms with the orangish or whatever number, it was tough.
And two rosters that weren't exactly right, and we're still working on. Right, we understand that. That's no big deal. But the point being, it was a challenge.
It was. No question.
It was a fight last week.
No question. It was a challenge for the PA guy and a challenge for the play-by-play guy here, as the Skyhawks have won the toss. They will elect to receive. They'll defend the goal to our left as we set high above the field here at Scott High School. They'll be moving left to right on your, well, you used to always say your radio dial. Now it can be your radio dial, your computer, your cell phone, your tablet, your iPad, whatever you got. But they'll be moving left to right as they retreat back, and they're going to run out of a huge Skyhawk that they were testing earlier. Smoke comes out of, and quite a presentation to get them onto the field.
Those Talons are out.
The Talons are out. That's correct.
They're ready to roll.
The Skyhawk Talons are out and ready to grab whoever comes through there, I think. I don't think they grab anybody going out. They grab them coming in.
Yeah.
When the opponent tries to go in there, the Skyhawk may come out and show his talons and teeth. I don't have teeth, I don't guess. His beak.
I don't want to get close enough to find out. But
that thing's huge. I was down there pregame. That it's a good 12 feet tall.
Yeah, and they've had that for years. But this is a community. I love coming here. I don't like the road that's in between Wayne and Scott necessarily, Wayne and Madison, but I always love being here. The people here are fantastic. It's a good community-based school. These kids grow up in the Madison, Danville area,
right?
Here in Boone County, and they grow up wanting to be Scott Skyhawks. And
nothing wrong with that.
No, and you see the community support they have here. It's fantastic, and it's just a wonderful setting for high school football.
Well, my drive was probably a little easier than yours, even though it was longer. I went to Charleston and came down 119. So
yeah, 37 across Eastland, they're out 10. And
I looked at that. I thought, nah, I think I'll just take it may mileage-wise be a little longer, but I'm going that way. Kickoff. KD Step puts the boot to it. It's a squib kick that's going to go out of bounds, so that will bring the ball out to the 35-yard line. As coming up, Jax McCarty was going to field the ball, saw the side spin, allowed it to go out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, but by rule, the ball will come to the 35-yard line where the Skyhawks will have it 1st and 10. They could elect to have Wayne re-kick it, but I think
they're just happy to get the ball and go.
I think they just want to get and go. Shotgun formation. Twins to the right side. Single wide out to the near side. They send a man in motion coming all the way across. And they'll give a screen pass out to that motion back. And he'll get across the 40. Stepped out of bounds. That was Cameron Brenniger, who they often run a kind of a jet sweep with. But that will be a screen pass that will be good for 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4. Ball spotted at the 41-yard line of the Skyhawks. Wayne, a little different defensive look this year. They're a 3-man front. Traditionally a 43. They're running a 34 this year. Twins either way now for the Skyhawks. Single set back, flanking Fries left. Back to throw. Big rush, and he gets hit but gets out of it. He's still running to his left. Now throws one deep downfield. It's a jump ball intercepted. That ball was intercepted, I believe, by Ronnie Staley. Staley comes down with it. Ronnie Staley the third, we have him listed as, takes the ball at the 25-yard line.
First down, Wayne.
Interception.
Really good defensive play from Wayne front to back there. Got pressure on the quarterback. He's elusive. First guy is almost never going to get Fry, but stayed in contain, able to get secondary pressure on him, forcing him to throw the ball off balance, and then Staley goes up high points. It gets the interception.
So a big turnover early on as Wayne from that pistol wing tee, we'll call it, gives it to the first back through, and that's Colt Mathis on the carry. And Mathis will pick up maybe a yard. I don't know. I don't think he did. He may have even lost. He did. He did lose a yard.
Tell you what, Scott read every key on that play because there was a fake to Dameron and then a handoff to Mathis, and they both got popped.
They knew what was coming, no question. Now they've got Twins to the near side, single wide out to the far side, wing back to the near side, single set back is Dameron. They throw a screen pass, and that was incomplete, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Murdoch trapped that one on the ground, so kind of looking like Wayne's first series last week.
Yeah, Fisher Fry wanted to get rid of that ball quickly to the slot receiver Murdoch, but threw it behind him, and
tough.
Wayne in 3rd and long.
Tough catch, 3rd and long now, as I'm going to have to lean in front of Ryan to see a clock. It's 10:55 remaining. Clock arrested on the incomplete pass. Wayne will send Twins to the far side, single wide out to the near side, wing back and a setback from the pistol. They throw a little short screen pass. It's caught by, is that Staley? Mm-hmm. I believe it is, and he's going to be close to first down yardage, but I believe he's going to be about a yard shy, so decision time for Coach Tom Harmon. I know last year you give this ball to Jackson Dameron and get a yard.
I think
we've not seen that yet this year.
I think this is a statement type play here.
They're going for it, and Dameron's in the backfield.
Wayne feels if they can't get a yard, they don't deserve to win.
And it's a quarterback keep, and looked like some movement on the line, but Fisher Fry gets first down yardage and then some as he gets all the way out to the 40-yard line.
That ball was snapped early, and no one moved.
Nobody moved.
Fry stood there with the ball for a second before realizing, I better go with this thing, and
absolutely
ends up with a 6-yard surge and a first down.
First down for the Pioneers, and they'll have a new set of downs with the ball resting on their own 40-yard line as they break huddle. They bring KD Step to the near side, double wings. traditional wing T formation here. They give it to Mathis, the wing back. He's got some running room as he gets across the 45 out to the 48-yard line. Coming up to make the stop was Carson Brenniger for the Skyhawks, but a gain of 8 on the play will bring up 2nd down and 2.
That was all Colton Mathis.
It was. He was hit at the line.
He was hit at the line. It looked like they had him swarmed again, but managed to wiggle out and shoot forward for 8.
They'll send Spradlin out to the far side. Twins to the near side. This time they give it to Jackson Dameron, and he's got first down yardage as he gets across midfield all the way down to the 43-yard line. Let's call it the 44-yard line. 1st and 10.
Back-to-back 8-yard runs. First for Mathis, there for Dameron. And
now, we saw that a lot last year. We didn't see Dameron much last week, but didn't need him much last week as they were trying some different things. But they're going to need every tool in the box this week to hang with this Scott team. Single wide out to the near side, double wings. They go an inside handoff that time to Staley. Staley, nothing. Maybe a yard. He was brought down on the far side of the field by David Fennessy, who led the Skyhawks with tackles last week with 12. No gain on the play.
I'll tell you what, no gain. Staley had to work
to get no gain.
Yes.
He had to work hard to get a no gain.
He tried to spin out, and Scott, Wayne has popped a couple of 8-yard runs, but Scott has played very, very strong up front. They're not getting knocked off the ball whatsoever.
They're bending but not breaking, that's for sure. Back to throw. Fry has a man caught on the far side. That by Cade Estep. Up to about the 36, 37-yard line, depending on the spot. It's going to be shy of the first down by about 3 yards. They'll give him the 38. No, excuse me, 37. Well, he's going to have to get to the 34, so we'll call it 3rd and 3. Gain of about 7 on that pass.
And Tim, you've got 2 plays to get 3 yards here, and a traditional Wayne team
lines up,
run this straight ahead.
And they're in the wing T, the traditional wing T, except for the shotgun formation. Oh, and we had movement on the far side. It's going to back them up 5.
And that's
Ryland Murdoch was in a slot on the far side and took a step forward. It looked like Fry was giving a hard count, and this official's marking it off the wrong way.
It's still early in the season.
That's exactly right. Wayne would take it, but no, I don't even think Tom would want that.
No, you want it right.
So the 5-yard penalty will make it 3rd and 8.
And now you've got 2 plays to get 8 yards. You might not necessarily see that power type of run on 3rd down. You may see if they can.
Fry didn't run back to the sideline to get the play from Coach Harmon. Let's see how they break here. Now they come out in the power formation, at least what we've seen is power formation, but Fry's back to throw. Big rush coming up the gut. Let's a fly. Caught by Grady Spradlin, and he's got close to first down yardage. He should have it. Looks like he got to about the 31, just needed the 32. He needed the 34. First down. The 3rd first down of this drive, which started
Tackled by Caden Johnson.
all the way back on the Pioneer 25-yard line. They marched it down to the Skyhawk 32. They have a 1st and 10. Fry hands it off, fakes it to Dameron, gives it instead to Mathis, I believe. It is Mathis, and he goes across the far side, close to first down yardage. He'll be shy by a couple. They'll spot him down at the 25, 24-yard line, so give him 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Dameron gives you power. Mathis gives you a little shake.
He's shifty, we would say back in the day. He's shifty. He's elusive for sure. Now Dameron has it, and he's going to try to power straight ahead, and I don't know if he got anything. Maybe a yard, if that. Nope. Actually, they're going to push him back to the 24. That's about where he was. Okay, no gain on the play.
He lost about the length of the football there, but the interior of that Scott defensive line.
They're big old boys.
Yes, got right in there. And
Coach Mathis doesn't give heights and weights, but there's some big lads on that three-man front, no question about it.
Trent Mathis at the nose. Zachary McNeely also there.
Try Colt Mathis again, and nothing doing there. Mathis tried the right side, lost a yard, back to the 25. It's going to be 4th and about 3. And we've got a timeout on the field called by Coach Tom Harmon and the Wayne Pioneers. We'll keep it right here. With 5:23 left to play here in the first quarter, no score. Wayne gets an interception on Scott's first possession. They took over at the 10:50 mark. 10:55 is what I wrote down. And they have since been able to pick up a few first downs, march the ball down. They did convert a 4th down, and they marched it down to the Scott 25-yard line where they'll now face 4th and 3. The plays may not resemble a Tommy Harmon team, but the grinded out and eat up clock is definitely a Wayne staple.
Yeah, the philosophy is still there, and if you look at the passes Wayne has thrown so far, they've really only thrown one downfield.
Right.
It's a lot of safe stuff. It's basically like spreading your running game around the line of scrimmage, just a different way of doing it.
Exactly. Kind of like if you were a pitch team or something like that. So here we go, 4th and 3. Single wide out to the near side, double wings. Dameron in the backfield, flanking Fry's right, out of the pistol. Fry's going to keep it, try to get to the edge. He doesn't get it. Got a yard. That's it. So turnover on downs. So 11 play drive there. Ends with Wayne going from the 25 to the 24. Their own 25 to Scott's 24. 5:17 remains.
And Tim, I want to make an announcement here real fast. We are on WFGH right now. The power company shut power down at Spring Valley due to a transformer beside the road. We'll return to that game on the air when it resumes. Again, on WFGHFM.com. You stay with us right here. But on WFGH 90.7, we will return to Spring Valley once that game resumes. The entire stadium right now is without power.
So you got the text from Fred that I just now got as well.
Fred's working hard today.
Fred is. Fred Dameron back at Studio Control, and he tried to call me as well. But kind of hard to take those calls and so forth. Tried to watch the game, but we appreciate that, Fred. So Spring Valley, Cabell Midland, big game. Right now, no power, so they're not playing. Handoff comes to Cooper. He tries the right side. Jackson Dameron comes in, knocks him down after a gain of about 3. Maybe just 2. They'll give him the 26-yard line, so a gain of 2 on the play.
Harry Soward's also in on that play for Wayne, and there's a lot of good you can take from that first drive for Wayne, but at the same time, you got inside the 25, you had 2nd and 2 and did not convert, ran out of downs. That's a little disheartening.
Screen pass out to the far side, and that's going to be caught and a long run after catch by Isaiah Bush as he gets into Wayne territory.
There is a flag.
There's a flag way back.
I think Scott lined up wrong and had an ineligible receiver downfield.
We'll see what the preliminary signal is. They may not have had that end covered up, or may have had him covered up. Yep, ineligible downfield against Scott. They had their tight end covered up, and he took off. So a huge gain of 30-some-odd yards. We don't know where it would have been spotted, but that will come back. After the 5-yard penalty, we'll move the ball back to the 21-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 13. Wayne giving a lot of cushion to Bush on that far side. They'll give the underneath stuff, don't want to get beat deep. Back to throw is Fry, looking to the far side, has a man wide open, caught in stride by Braden Clark, and he's gone. He's gone. 79 yards, no flags.
Touchdown, Braden Clark.
So Clark goes 79 yards for the TD on the second play from scrimmage. And it's 6-0, just like that. Boy, that's a backbreaker.
They are dangerous, and they can strike at any time. And you talked about the depth Wayne was giving on the outside to Bush on the opposite side of the field. But that time, simple speed. Clark just ran right by the corner and the safety and outran them all the end zone.
Ryan Neal set to attempt the point after touchdown out of the hold of Cole Elkins. Long hard count, and Wayne jumped. Wayne jumped, so that's going to prompt Coach Dolan to send out the offense and go for 2 here. So we'll go from the 1.5. How do you put that on your score sheet? Is that actually 1.5?
I just put 2.
Put the 2-yard line?
Round up.
That's what I generally do as well when the odd times that I try to keep some kind of score. Although these don't count as offensive yards anyway. So Fry will come up under center. Sends a man in motion. They hand it off. Nope, Fry's going to keep it. He's being rushed, flushed out of the pocket, looks to the end of the end zone. No good. So the 2-point conversion, no good. And with 4:29 left to play here in the first period, your score, Scott 6, Wayne nothing. Back in a moment here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
It's easy to guess what's inside a truck. Pallets of products, goods packed and piled high, but many never consider what's inside the trucker. The men and women who keep business moving, who help support communities, the parents and providers, brothers, sisters, and neighbors. Inside you is the commitment to deliver a job well done. For your sacrifice, your perseverance, and your drive, we thank you. Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you.
You're listening to high school football action on Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
6-0 your score. The Scott Skyhawks lead the Wayne Pioneers. 4:29 remains here in the first quarter. Tim Carper along with Ryan Epling. For those of you listening on WFGH expecting to hear Spring Valley and Cabell Midland, we understand there's a power outage at the stadium right now.
The Wolves' Den is dark.
The Timberwolves' Den is completely and utterly dark right now. I wouldn't want to be in a wolf's den when it was dark, would you?
No, but you know who's comfortable in a dark wolf's den? The wolf.
The wolf.
That's about it.
Kickoff is a squibber up the center, taken at the 20-yard line. Picking that one up and getting a decent run back is Caden Hayton.
It's a hard one to say.
It is.
It does not.
Caden Hayton. And Hayton gets out to about the 35-yard line.
It doesn't flow. That's a sophomore, though. Good athlete. He's a kid you're going to hear from over this year and the next 2 as well.
So he'll go from the 20 to the 35. Nice run back of 15 yards. Gives Wayne decent field position to start.
And Tim, we saw basically the difference in these two teams, a big part of it at least, just in the last possessions. Scott can hit you with the long play at any time. Wayne has to move you down the football field.
Yep. They are not a quick score team. That's why being down late in the game is not good. Here's a broken play as Fry runs in the Dameron. He was going to try to fake it to one back, then fake it to another back, and ran into that back, and he's going to lose a yard. So Fisher Fry tried a little razzle-dazzle there with a double fake and faked himself out as he ran into his back.
He gives Wayne something they haven't had, though, in recent years, a threat to run at quarterback.
A more mobile
and
quarterback.
A threat to break the field down. And something I thought he did a good job last week of is when he decided to run, he was confident with it. He
Absolutely.
just went, and you cannot wait or hesitate.
A dump screen, a little bubble screen this time, is completed to Ronnie Staley as he'll get out to about the 40-yard line.
Anyway, he took a big hit there, but it didn't knock him down. He still ended up having to get tackled about where he bounced to.
Yep.
But he ran into a wall.
He sure did, but that was a nice set-up bubble screen. They let the nose and the both ends come on. And Staley just kind of hung out there around the 35-yard line. Quick pass. He gains out to the 40, so a gain of 6 on the play. Will bring up 3rd and 5. Single wide out to the near side, double wings. Single setback from the pistol, Fry back. Nice pass is caught once again by Staley, but he's going to be just shy. And here comes a flag in late. Is there a late hit?
That's a completely unnecessary grabbing of the face mask right at the end of that play. He was already on the ground, and the Scott defender finishing the play got him by the face mask, and that'll give Wayne a first down.
Absolutely. It's going to be a 5-yarder or a 15. Be the 5-yard variety, not a personal foul. But nonetheless, we'll push the ball out to the 49-yard line of Wayne, and they'll have a first down.
That goes from, you've been in 4th and 1, and instead you end up with the first down.
Single wide out now to the far side. Back to throw once again, and they're going deep. Long toss, caught on the far side by Cade Estep, all the way down to the 12-yard line. 37 yards, is that right? No, 39 yards. It was on our own 49, weren't we?
Yeah, 39 yards.
39-yard pass play from Fisher Fry to Cade Estep. And, maybe we spoke too soon about them not being able to strike quick, because that was a nice throw.
Perfect throw, good route, yes. And good job by Estep to pull that one in and almost kept his feet.
They give the ball to the first back through that time, and nothing doing. Was that Dameron or was it Mathis?
It was Dameron, and there's just no room on the interior right now.
They have decided that they are going to stop Jackson Dameron, and then they've done so. No gain on that play.
3 carries, 8 yards. His first carry went for 8 yards.
Yeah, they have keyed in on Jackson Dameron, and he has been stymied here in the early going. Jumbo package here with no wideouts. They're going to run it again. This time they give it to Staley. He gets to the outside and gets a nice gain. As he gets inside the 10, looks like they're going to put him out near the 5-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 3. You know you're in 4-down territory here.
Nothing fancy about that. The exterior of the line did a good job of winning the battle, kind of walling down there.
Yep.
And Staley had a nice lane to run through on that slant run to the right.
Just an old-fashioned sweep on that one. Now they'll bring twins to the near side. No one in the backfield. And rolling out is Fry. Coming to the near side. Looking, throws. And, that was almost intercepted. He was just trying to get rid of the football. Intended that time for Zane Adkins. But nothing there.
He did a good job of getting rid of it and got it just far enough out of there to where it couldn't be intercepted.
But I know Carter McClung's eyes got huge, or Carter McClung's eyes got huge as that ball came near him. If he could have caught that stayed in bounds, that would have definitely been a pick 6 for 100 yards. Nonetheless, clock arrested at 1:23 to play in the first quarter. 6-0 your score. Scott on top, Wayne knocking at the door. And we've got a stoppage in play. And do we have a timeout?
Most teams are walking off the field like there's one, but the officials have not signaled one as of yet. I don't know if this is about. Look at the play clock.
Now they did say timeout, Wayne.
Yes, Wayne did call a second time out of the half already.
Get gold and silver delivered to your door. There's a way you buy gold and silver just like the rich guys. Real silver, real gold you can hold in your hand. With 7K Metals memberships, your exclusive member benefits include accumulate silver and gold at market price fractionally, access to sound money wallets where you can buy silver and gold incrementally, access to affordable group health care, 7K Advantage discounts and savings with over 800,000 ways to save at local restaurants, big name brands, travel, and accommodation. Several other useful exclusive member benefits. Simply select one of the calendar buttons, choose a date for your appointment, and one of our associates will reach out to you. Your membership proudly supports the Superstation Network and Hazel's Wish. Visit superstationsilver.com to learn more.
Power has been restored at the Wolves Den. They're playing the national anthem right now. So if you're hearing us on WFGH 90.7, you'll be at the Wolves Den shortly for Spring Valley and Cabell Middle. Of course, if you're on WFGHFM.com, you're stuck with us for the duration.
That's exactly right. Or WVWP 101.1. We've been there the whole night, so we thank those for listening, and also on Facebook. 4th down and 3. Fry rolls back, looking, big rush. He steps through it, throws the football, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted by Brenniger, but he would have been a fool to catch that one, although that's instinct.
Well, it's a little bit of deja vu now.
From last year.
Yes, 4 times inside the 20 last year without scoring. Now 1 time inside the 25 and 1 time at the 5, and Wayne still with 0 on the scoreboard.
Not able to get it in. So Scott will take over 1st and 10 at their own 5-yard line with 1:17 to go here in the first period.
And the Skyhawks are a threat on every snap.
They try a handoff up the gut and going to lose a couple yards there with Cooper, looks like. Oh, goodness.
This football
I hit a button. My bad.
Hey, Jackson Dameron sliced in there and got Preston Cooper by the legs and wouldn't let go, and ends up being a 2-yard loss.
You got to be careful around here in the dark. You'll never hit anything. It's my fault. Must be some kind of cowboy night going on here tonight. I see cowgirls and cowboys all over the place, these hats. 2nd and 12. Matt Fry fumbles the football. It's loose. That's going to be a safety. It is. Safety.
That was Tristan Turner who shot in and brought down Matt Fry, but the bad snap, he had to reach for it. He had to look for it. And as soon as he got it, eyes went up, and Turner met him head on and put him on the ground.
So that makes it a baseball score, 6-2 in the first inning.
I believe, and I might be wrong on this, so don't take this as the gospel, but I believe
anything you say is the gospel to me, buddy.
I don't know, buddy, but I believe that's the first safety for the Wayne defense, at least that I can remember, since the 2013 Class AA semifinals, when Mason Hodge knifed in and tackled a Robert C. Byrd player in the end zone at Sang Stadium at Huntington.
Wow.
For a safety and a.
I can't believe you don't know the Robert C. Byrd player or his height, weight, grade. Come on, man, you're slipping us.
I remember their kids from the year before, but I don't remember the kids that year.
So the free kick will be taken from the 20-yard line. Should give Wayne great field position. Nice job by the Wayne defense. Sliding in there and getting the safety.
And in many ways, the safety set up by the play before.
Right.
The good play by Jackson Dameron on a play that Scott did not help Wayne any well.
David Fennessy will be punting the football from the free kick. It's a high kick. It's going to be taken at the 46-yard line by Staley. He gets across midfield, sit on his feet. He's on the far side and brought down from behind at about the 24-yard line. Nice return by Staley. I'll tell you what, this is the Ronnie Staley show here tonight. And the way their offense has been sputtering inside the red zone. One would hope he would have just broke it down.
Yeah, I mean, if you're waiting on it, here's a chance to score. We better score now.
Right.
We can't count on the offense right now. But boy, Wayne winning the field position battle. Wayne has had a couple of big plays.
They're
hanging in there
at the Scott 25-yard line. There is about 28 seconds left to play. Single back is Dameron. Fry hands it off to Mathis. He tries the right side, has some room on that jet sweep. Gets across the 20.
I believe that was Rylan Murdoch. 7, not 17.
Oh, I'm sorry. Murdoch. You're right. I saw the 7 when he turned the corner. I thought he had a 1 beside it, but he did not. That was Murdoch.
The array of numbers in the backfield don't necessarily do us favors either. And that's okay.
That's all right.
A 12, a 7, a 17, sometimes it's easy to get those kind of to look alike.
He turned that corner, and all I saw was the 7 and thought it was a 17. So a gain of about 6 on that play will bring up 2nd and 4. This time they fake it to Dameron, give it to second back through, and he's got some running room as he gets across the 10. Trying to get a number. That was
Mathis.
Was that Mathis?
Yeah.
For sure it was. Number 17. Colton Mathis, a 5'9", 164-pound senior. And that'll bring up 1st and goal for the Wayne Pioneers. The ball just a football inside the 10-yard line. So Wayne knocking at the door to the end zone here, and we're going to let the first quarter clock expire. So we played 1 quarter of football here in Madison, West Virginia. The Wayne Pioneers trail the Scott Skyhawks. Your score 6-2, and you're hearing it all right here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
In the fabric of America, they are the toughest threads. One of the first things they learned was the code that every service member lives by. Leave no one behind. Now all of us need to live by it too, because some veterans are being left behind. 20 of them take their own lives every day. Learn how to be there for a veteran at BeThereForVeterans.com. Honor the code. Be there. Leave no one behind.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM, WFGH.
We'll start the second quarter. Wayne football, 1st and goal. The ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line. Tim Carper along with Ryan Epling here on the Gridiron Sports Network tonight. Wayne trails it 6-2. You said sounds like a Reds-Cubs score. I think it was 6-2 today, or 6-1 maybe. I can't remember.
6-2. The Reds bullpen doing what it does.
Reds bullpen does.
Well, being overused by. Well, no, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, but they didn't need any help. They didn't need any help at the trade deadline at all.
No,
none whatsoever. Nick Kroll. Shotgun pistol formation. Dameron in behind Fry. They give it to Dameron. No, they fake it to Dameron. They give it off to. Is that Mathis?
That was Mathis. And rolling down at the 1, he was fully in.
Oh,
the
he
end
was
zone.
in.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, they're going to call him down at the 1. Mathis looked like he was fully in. Oh, that was a terrible spot. They're going to put him down at the 1-foot line. So 2nd and goal. Well, this just has Jackson Dameron written all over it right here. They will go up under center.
They've got nobody over the center, just quarterback sneak it.
There you go, and it's what it's going to be. And Fisher Fry is in, put 6 on the board for the Pioneers. Fisher Fry from 1 yard out gives Wayne the lead, 8-6.
That's just a mistake in the goal line defense there for Scott. They did not get lined up properly, and short distance between 2 points, straight line.
That's exactly right. He stepped on to attempt the point after touchdown. Out of the hole to Spradlin. Bad snap, but he gets it down. The kick is up, and it's good. And with 11:17 left to play here in the first half, your score, Wayne 9, Scott 6. You would think this might be a game of field goals by looking at that score, but no, it's been 2 touchdowns and a safety scored so far in this ball game, and it's 9-6 in favor of the Pioneers. Back in a moment on the Gridiron Sports Network.
It's that very special time of the year, and that means it's time for high school football. This is Fred Persinger inviting you to join Dave, Jacqueline, and me every Friday night this fall for High School Game Night on the Metro News Radio Network. We'll bring you all the scores, stories, and interviews from high school football games being played all over the state. High School Game Night, 17 years and going strong. Heard every Friday night.
After the game tonight on the Superstation Network. You're listening to high school football action on Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
KD steps set to kick it away. Puts a boot to it to the far side, taking it to 15. And a nice tackle. Coming in to make that stop was number 32, and I don't have a 32.
That's Harry Sowers.
That is Sowers? Thought he was wearing 33.
That was 33. That was Sowers.
Okay, it was Sowers. Right. Sowers comes in to make the stop on Bush, who took the ball about the 15 and got out to the 25, and a nice play by Sowers.
I tell you, those skill position players are outstanding in space, and you have to make that kind of tackle against them. That's not easy, but Soward's up to it on that play.
Matt Fry in shotgun has a man in motion. They give it to Cooper. He tries the right side, and not much of anything. A little extracurricular going on in the backfield as a couple of guys tussling around. No gain on that play.
But one of those big offensive linemen for Scott was locked in with
Mathis,
who's the free safety. Actually, he kind of steps up. He'll play more strong safety, but nonetheless.
He was coming up.
He was 10 yards in the backfield. I don't know what happened there. But
hard to say. Maybe a blitz is coming.
They were just both playing hard, though.
Nothing wrong with it. Twins either way. Back to throw is Fry. Looking across the middle of the field. Has someone at the far side, but woefully underthrown. And that'll bring up third down. You know what?
You don't see Fry miss that pass like that very often. That just wide of the target.
Wide. And we played a quarter football, and I just now realized that both quarterbacks are Fries.
One with an E.
How silly am I? One with an E, one without.
Yeah.
One's a Fisher and one's a Matt. So 3rd and 10 for the Skyhawks. Twins to the near side. Single wide out to the far side. A wing to the far side. Back to throw is Fry. Big rush. Lets it fly. Long pass downfield and well overthrown. Intended that time for Isaiah Bush. And that's going to bring up 4th and long and bring out the punt team for the Skyhawks. Wayne leading it 9-6. 10:27 to play here in the first half. And Wayne will get the football on a 3-and-out.
Wayne defense up to the challenge there, and it started with that special teams tackle because that really was like a momentum type of play.
Yep.
And now if you're Wayne, you just got to keep riding this momentum and not make a mistake to give Scott fresh life, because you saw that they can strike at any time.
And what do we got now? Delay of game, offsides. Did somebody line up offsides?
I think Jaden Wayman stepped into the neutral zone for Wayne.
So the 5-yard penalty will make it 4th and 5. Punts team still out there.
4th penalty for 12 yards against Wayne. All of them easy to diagnose. The yardage is down, though. The first penalty is a 0-yard penalty because it's a kickoff out of bounds.
Right.
And then the other penalty was on the conversion attempt, so it only went 1.5 yards, so 2. So that's why the numbers are a little odd there.
Skyhawks huddled up like they may think about going for it, but Tennessee still in punt formation. Staley back deep for the Pioneers. Nice high wobbly kick. Staley will let hit. It takes a Skyhawk bounce down to the 19-yard line. So a nice punt.
That's a 51-yard punt. Flips field position. First time Wayne's had the ball this deep in their own territory.
Absolutely. The last time they had it on their own territory, they had it on their own 25. Then they had it on their own 49. Now they've got it on their own 19, 1st and 10.
And field position is one of those things you hear talked about, and you might not see the result of it immediately, but over the course of a quarter, it definitely plays a role in how the game plays out.
Absolutely. Flip field. I mean, if Wayne goes 3 and out here and has to punt, then Scott will probably have better field position than they did when they punted. Probably. We're not looking for that. We're going to give a handoff on the sweep. Comes off to Caden Hayton. And Hayton will get out to about the 25. So a nice gain of about 6 on that play will bring up 2nd and 4 for the Pioneers. Clock running with 9:52 remaining in the first half. Wayne leads Scott 9-6. This is one of those you'd like to have a Wayne 8-minute drive and eat the clock and the field up, score with little time left, which is what they are known for. They try to go up the gut with, they pulled it out of Dameron's hand, and Fry kept it.
Oh, that was Staley.
Or Staley got on the second back through, excuse me. Again, I saw the 1, and thought I saw a 2, but I did not.
Hey.
Hard for me to see up here, man.
Hey, if you believe me and not Tim for some reason, he's right. I mean, it's just, like I said, the array of backfield numbers are just a little bit tricky to read.
We'll get there.
And this second game, we're getting used to the personnel ourselves. And
absolutely.
2 weeks from now, we'll have it down pat.
Maybe a loss of a yard there is going to bring up 3rd down and about 5. Fry in this pistol formation. Dameron flanking his left. They fake it to Dameron. Play action across the middle, and that one was woefully underthrown. Intended for Grady Spradlin and wasn't even close. I don't know if it was tipped at the line or just a hurried, rushed pass, but here we talk about that field position. The Pioneers now will have to go in punt formation.
Fisher Fry lost his mechanics there on that throw. He kind of threw
it.
It looked like a shortstop throwing it to second to start a double play.
He kind of sidearmed that one for sure.
Left it short. Now he will be in punt formation.
Fry is the punter. Back deep is Brenniger and Bush.
Brenniger and Bush back deep with the Skyhawks.
The play clocks are turned off. They must not be working properly. Good snap. Nice punt. It's going to go out of bounds at the far side. And here comes those. Where'd it go out of bounds at? That official holds up his hand and starts walking and looking to the sky, and lo and behold, it's right on the 50-yard line.
It ends up at a nice even spot.
Nice even spot. So as we were talking about flipping the field on punts, right there you go.
Now Scott now will start from midfield after that 26-yard punt.
After a 51-yard punt. So they get much better field position than they had. And the fresh set of downs at midfield. They'll send twins to the far side, single wide out to the far side, a wing to the far side, and we've got a flag. Generally, that's a offensive movement or a snap infraction. It's going to be a false start against the Skyhawks.
Get your head in the ball game.
Elsewhere in the Cardinal Conference, Winfield up 28-7 on Herbert Hoover in the second quarter.
Well, that Winfield team came out of nowhere last year, and it looks like they're. Of course, they got their head handed to them last week.
Right, and
Cabell Midland will hand a lot of heads. However,
start asking some. Well, it's Hurricane, but now you start asking some questions. Well, yeah, you start asking some questions up Elk River if that holds.
Here's a nice tackle for loss as Cooper gets the football, and jumping in there was number 15, and that is Zane Adkins. That Charlie's boy?
It is. And you'll probably hear him at some point this season.
We're hoping. I want Charlie to join us as much as possible on the home games for sure.
But we also want him to be a dad and get to enjoy his son's senior season.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Scott now has trips to the near side. Single wide out to the far side. Back to throw. Fry lets it fly to the far side. It's going to be caught, but gain of about 5 or 6, and that's it. As coming up to make the stop that time for Wayne was Caden Hayton. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9. The ball on the Wayne 49-yard line.
Quick to the open receiver. A quick 8 yards there, but he was tackled by 3 defenders.
Hoping that he could juke and get more. A bad snap and a big rush, and Fry is going to be sacked. Back at the 44-yard line. Sowards was in there. Also getting congratulated was Cooper Adkins. So the sack takes the ball all the way back to the Skyhawk 44-yard line. So a loss of about 7.
Snap has been a problem.
It has been an issue.
Times.
And so back-to-back possessions for the Skyhawks, resulting in a punt. As Fennessy in punt formation. Had a boomer last time of 51 yards. This one almost got a hand on it, did the Wayne rusher there. The ball's going to go out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, so not quite as proficient of a punt that time. Some, 33 yards, somewhere along in there?
I'm still waiting on
32
about
yards?
32, yeah.
32-yard punt.
My dad was a math teacher. I can never admit, and everybody knows it too. That's not one of those. It's not a well-kept secret around Wayne. Doing my best, Dad. He's across the way.
He's not listening. He's all right.
He's locked in.
He's locked in, rooting on the Pioneers as the clock is at the 6:30 mark. Wayne leads at 9-6. They have the football at their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Fry sends a man in motion. They fake it to the motion back and give it to the second back, and not much there, if anything.
That was kind of a counter type of play, and the
motion
right side of that Scott defense didn't bite.
Nope. Motion one way, counter the other, and nothing there.
Dameron's last 3 carries have netted -1 yard.
I think they've got a spy on Dameron, and they're not going to let him beat them. I really think that's part of the defensive philosophy right now for the Scott Skyhawks after seeing the damage he did last year. Over 1,000 yards last year for Dameron. Primarily a running team last year. Fake to Mathis. Fry is going to keep it in a design quarterback keep, and he'll get out across the 30 up to about the 32-yard line. So a nice gain by Fisher Fry on 2nd and long. We'll bring up 3rd and manageable, as they're going to give him the 32, maybe the 33. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 2, short 3.
That time Fry tucked it, and as soon as he was sure he was going, he went. And you can tell that makes him a half step faster.
Right, exactly. Twins to the near side. Fry back to pass. Big rush. Screen pass comes to the near side, caught by Murdoch. Murdoch has 1st down yardage and then some as he gets across the 40, out close to the 45-yard line. Nice catch by Ryland Murdoch.
That was Ronnie Staley.
That wasn't 7?
That was 1.
All right,
again, I promise you.
I'm stopping. I'm not going to call anymore. That was Ronnie Staley.
That array of numbers is tricky to see. Again, I will back Tim up 100% on that.
We'll get it. Staley, nice catch for 1st down yardage out to the 46-yard line. He stepped to the far side. Dameron in behind Fry with 2 wings. Back to throw. Looking long. Has a man open. Overthrew it. E-step on the far side was open. Coming up and closing the gap was Caden Sutton, but not quite enough.
I thought Sutphin played that well. He wasn't going to get beat over the top, but there was a window in between the corner and safety to drop it in, and Fry overthrew it a little bit.
Just barely overthrew his intended receiver E-step. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. Clock arrested at the 4:51 mark. Wayne with a 9-6 lead over the Scott Skyhawks. Fry has twins to the far side. This time they do give it to Murdoch. He's got room across the 50. He's still on his feet. He may go. He's all tripped up from behind. He had a shoestring tackle at the very end of that play, but he gets all the way down to the Scott 30-yard line. Nice run by Ryland Murdoch, and I believe that was Fennessy that came up and made a shoestring tackle from behind where he was gone, and it was Fennessy.
And I think Colton Mathis was getting in position to throw the block.
Right, he was.
That would have sprung Murdoch to the end zone there, and Fennessy, great job. Hey, that safety, you're the last line of defense.
He got in there and did it.
Yes, he did.
Give the ball to Jackson. Nope, faked it to Jackson Dameron. Somebody's not happy. That is Mathis on the carry, and he lost a yard. It looks like somebody might have been twisting that ankle.
And Mason Brown in there to make the tackle. Another one of those big defensive linemen. Don't have sizes. You just have to go with me here. He's a good-sized young man.
Back in Kentucky, we'd call him a biggin.
And that would be an accurate description.
Twins to the far side. This time they do give it off to Dameron up the gut.
Nice surge there from the Wayne offensive front as Dameron just got in behind Waylon Forrest and just
rode his hind end all the way to the 22-yard line, where it's going to bring up 3rd and a couple. And you got to know that they're in 4-down territory here as they're on the Scott 22-yard line, and the clock at 3:27. Wayne with a 9-6 lead. And that was the Jackson Dameron we've seen from the past. Fry is under center. He's going to keep it. And he's trying to get that first down yardage, but I don't know.
Based on the official on the opposite side is about, it looks like maybe
a half
an
yard
inch short. Yeah, about half yard short.
It's going to be about a half a yard short, so it is going to be 4th down. He needs to get just across the 20, and he's just shy of the 20.
But he got 2/3 of what he needed there, so that's still a successful play as long as you finish it off right here. This is a big play in this ball game.
This is huge. Now, you got to think, if you're Scott, you're thinking, well, a half a yard, quarterback draw.
Guarantee you they'll have a nose guard over center this time, though.
Right, or a Dameron run. I'm a gambler. I'm going to throw this thing right here. I'm throwing it.
Hey, this is the perfect time to slip a tight end straight down the seam.
Absolutely.
And a flag for delay of game.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Coach Tom Harmon's livid.
Well, and both teams are dealing with this, but when the play clock is out, if you become reliant on seeing it. And when it's out, you lose, you lose the sense of look at the back judge for the signal of 10 seconds left. And let's see.
The officials got together and talked there, like, are you sure it was delay? And so that's what they're going to do.
Delay game penalty on the Pioneers.
4th down and a short 6. No, delay's not a loss of ground.
No. I think, well, Tom Harmon and
Tom's not happy.
Let me tell you, there's some history with this officiating crew. Now, I know a couple of them. I like them. I get along just fine with them. But they have, let's just say that Coach Harmon has not been happy with this crew multiple times in the past, including the 2009 Class AA State Championship game.
That's why I love having Ron in the booth. He knows everybody in West Virginia who can remember exactly what happened. Well, as that changes things
once again, Skyhawks on your feet.
tremendously.
Now, my question is, was Wayne charged a timeout there?
No, can't be.
They never were. One was never signaled, but
No.
Wayne huddled on the sideline.
Well, they were just huddling while the officials were huddling. That's perfectly legal. They're going to give it off to Mathis to try to run for the first down, and he's going to be just shy. Colton Mathis.
He's right on the 20.
Yeah, I thought he had to get across the 20. They may come out and measure this. I thought that they're going to measure it. It looked like the stick was just across the 20. They did spot the ball. The nose is over the 20, so, well, let's see.
I honestly can't tell, but if I had to guess just based on where the ball was when it was at the first and 10 mark, I believe you're going to be about the nose of the ball short.
I think so, too. I thought I'd look like maybe a full football across the 20. They've got about a half a football across the 20. But maybe a chain link is going to be short, and it's going to be just short.
And how big is that delay of game now?
Just an inch short. And Tom Harmon's coming out and trying to take a look down the line at it. He's not trusting these guys very well. He wanted to get down and get the card out. But nonetheless, Wayne will turn it over on downs right at the 20-yard line with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the half. Wayne leads it 9-6. Scott had an early 6-0 lead, then a safety for Wayne made it 6-2. Touchdown, an extra point makes it 9-6. Fry, bad snap, big rush. He's elusive. He's going to tuck it up, looks to run, and will get out of bounds at about the 23-24-yard line. That will stop the clock. Gain of 4 on the play will bring up 2nd and 6. Nice job there by the Wayne defense. They're getting in the backfield. They are definitely making Fry a mobile quarterback.
Anytime that snap isn't handled perfectly, he's feeling that rush immediately.
Sure is. He sure is. And they're coming off that left side pretty handily. And the nose is getting in there pretty quick as well. Snap back. Good snap this time. Fry steps up into the pocket, and he's going to take off. He's got first down yardage as he's right at the 31-yard line. So that'll be enough for a Skyhawk first down.
And that's what Fry can do. He can pop the big one, too, but he can also kind of grind out plays and extend possessions with runs like that.
He can wear you out like that and has in the past. Clock running now with 2 minutes to play in the half. 1st and 10 for the Skyhawks from their own 31. Back to throw Fry. A little screen pass coming to the near side. Will be caught by Cooper, and he's not getting anything. Maybe even lost a yard on that one as he was swarmed. Fisher Fry came in there.
There's a flag and holding the preliminary call against Scott.
Well, I would take that one. Make it 1st and 20 rather than 2nd and 10. As the new rules this year allows for the holding penalties behind the line to actually be taken from the previous spot and not from the spot of the foul. We've seen
last year,
31 before.
Yeah, but last year at Logan they called it one way and they called it a completely different way in different games. But accepting that penalty because it's 10 yards from the line, as you mentioned.
Right.
So 1st and 20.
1st and 20. The NFHS, and we've got a timeout on the field called by Scott.
And I'm just glad they cleaned it up.
Well,
regardless, it makes it easier to do that. Although, I got to tell you, if nothing more frustrating than seeing a pass rusher held 9 yards deep in the backfield up against the quarterback, and then they get the ball there and the down over.
Right,
so,
exactly.
I mean, that's not what happened there, but that was...
But they did clean it up some. So, it was a short timeout. Did they not really call a timeout? They're saying run the clock. So apparently they did not call a timeout. They were just huddling on the sideline. Back to throw is Fry. Has a man open, Brenniger on the near side, and he'll step out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd down and about 5. Well, 2nd down and 6. So a nice gainer there. Cooper in motion. Fry back to throw. Nothing open. Big rush. She lets it fly down the center, and it's right in stride. Right in stride to Bush. And that's going to be a 65-yard touchdown pass. And that quick strike capability we've talked about all night. Wayne, that 5-yard delay penalty cost Wayne 6 there for sure.
Scott got away with 2 men in motion because the first guy that went in motion coming across the formation did not come to a stop before the second guy went in motion.
Well, they both would have to stop.
They both would have to stop. They did not.
So Scott will go for the 2-point conversion. Fry back to pass, flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run for it, and he did not get it. He did not get it. He was pushed out of bounds on the near side, so the 2-point conversion fails, and with 1:22 remaining in the first half, your score now, Scott 12, the Wayne Pioneers 9. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Pioneer Football on the Gridiron Sports Network.
I'm Stan Campbell. And I'm Tim Dennis.
I'm Alicia Vieira.
For this weekend, I hereby testify that the Music Under Electrical Broadcasting Trucker Radio Show is nothing but true country and only the best hit-kicking music you'd expect.
Prime cuts.
Top choice. Only the best.
We'll rock a little.
And we'll have the latest trucking industry news and interviews. No animals are heard during the production of Trucker Radio.
Trucker Radio, heard exclusively on only the best radio stations in the USA and around the world.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on WFGH. You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 WFGH.
Well, the 65-yard touchdown pass, Fry to Bush, gives Scott the lead back at 12-9. They've had 2 long pass plays go for touchdowns here in this first half. Wayne able to get 1 touchdown, a 2-point conversion. One touchdown, a point after touchdown, and a safety to give them 9. Scott with 12. Mind you, coming up at halftime, Ryan will have some of your halftime stats. We'll take a look at scores from across the state of West Virginia. Lots of big matchups tonight, all across the state. And after the game tonight, Fred Persinger, Dave, will have game night. Kickoff taken on the run by Fry. And he'll take it at about the 27, get out to about the 35. So you don't often have your quarterback on your kick return team.
No.
But you do want your athletes on the kick return team, and Fisher Fry able to field that one, a line drive kick.
It's interesting how the quarterback position has changed, though, over the years. And I'm not just talking about just like a classic thrower. For a lot of part, you just wanted a game manager who could get the ball to your running backs.
Right.
And get a few yards here or there when you needed it. Now you put a good athlete at quarterback as well. And just another position with another kid who can break the field and make plays.
That's exactly right. They give the ball this time to the motion man on the sweep, and that is Caden Hayton. Hayton will get nothing. Brown comes up to make the stop for Scott. Clock running. At just under a minute to go. I hate to have to look at the clock because I got to basically sit on Ryan's lap to look at it from where we are in the press box. That's why you're not hearing a lot about time tonight. It's just this window is not made for radio broadcasting, for sure. Here's a handoff on the inside to Jackson Dameron. He'll barrel across the 40 up to about the 41. Where it'll be 3rd down and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. Clock under 30 seconds now. Wayne will probably run this play, and that'll be it, or they may not even run this play. They are not. They are going to head to they're going to call a timeout with just a few seconds to go. So Wayne is going to call a timeout with 4.7 seconds left to play on the clock. Trailing 12-9. Absolutely beautiful night here in Madison, West Virginia. And I mean a pretty one.
Hey, if you find a candy, buy some salad. Find a candy, buy
Scott Skyhawks
buy some candy, buy some salad.
won this game last year 41-6 over at Wayne.
That means he wants salad.
Trying to think, in the Cardinal Conference, does Wayne have the only natural surface?
Winfield still has.
Yes, they do. Winfield.
Yes.
I was there 2 years ago. We'll go back there this year.
We'll go back there a week after next.
Yep, that'll be the next game for the Pioneers after an unusually early bye week. All right, here we go. Wayne's got twins to the far side, wing to the near side. They may just going to be throwing for all of it here. Nope, they're going to go up the gut with Jackson Dameron after that timeout. He'll get 2, and that's it. So give Dameron 2 yards on the carry, and the second half clock will come to an end, and we'll head to the locker rooms. Your score at the half: Scott 12, Wayne 9.
I'll go for it now.
We are going to
I'd stand with y'all, but I can't see who wins and see what's going on.
take a break here as soon as I figure out what I'm supposed to do. I think I figured it out. Tell you what,
It's still early in the year.
This engineering stuff kind of tough, but I think we need to clear this. Yeah, we need to clear that, and then we're going to load this. And when you're your own producer here on site, it's tough.
This presentation of Pioneer Football is sponsored by Rustic Ravines. Rustic Ravines offers deluxe cabin rentals and special event planning, as well as some of the best ATV riding and hiking trails in the country. You'll also find kayaking and canoeing, a 3D bow range, fishing, hunting, golfing, and a pet and horse-friendly resort. Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook or 304-385-1085.
In the fabric of America, they are the toughest threads, our bravest, and most selfless. They raised their hands, stepped forward, and served for each other, for you, and me. One of the first things they learned was the code that every service member lives by. Leave no one behind. Now all of us need to live by it too, because some veterans are being left behind. 20 of them take their own lives every day.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always lay fish first.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined.
Physically and mentally tough.
Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
Enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 WFGH.
At the half here at Scott High School, the Wayne Pioneers trail the Scott Skyhawks 12-9. Scott got on the board first in the first quarter. A 79-yard pass play from Fry. And who did he complete that to? I believe it was it
Braden Clark.
Braden Clark? Clark. That's what I wrote down. CLR. Thinking I would remember Clark, but I didn't. And that was with 4:29 to go in the first period. It was 6-0. The point after touchdown, no good. Actually went for 2-point conversion after a penalty. It was no good. A couple of series later, Wayne gets a safety after they had given the ball over on downs inside the 25-yard line. Wayne gets a safety and made it 6-2. And then Fisher Fry with a nice play that he went in from 1 yard out after a couple of nice plays to keep that drive alive. PAT was good with 11:17 to go in the second quarter. It was 9-6 in favor of the Wayne Pioneers. And then right there at the end of the first half, a 65-yard touchdown pass. And Fry hits Bush, and the PAT once again no good, and that's our score here at the half, 12-9 in favor of the Skyhawks. We'll take a quick break, come back. Ryan will have some stats for you from this first half. We'll also take a look at some of the scores from across the state of West Virginia playing tonight here on this Football Friday night. You're listening to Pioneer Football on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This sports presentation is brought to you by our valued community partner, Rustic Ravines. Here's what the Evans family had to say about their experience.
We had the best time. Everyone was friendly, professional, and made us feel welcomed. We rented a side-by-side for a 5-hour ride with our guide through the beautiful mountains of West Virginia. We highly recommend, and we'll be back.
Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085.
I am an American soldier.
I'm a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always lay fish first.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined.
Physically and mentally tough.
Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
Enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army Strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
As we recognize the service of America's men and women in uniform, let's also honor the families who sacrifice so much every day. Military families endure frequent deployments and separations. They carry on while their loved ones are sent into harm's way and wait patiently for their safe return. If you really want to honor a veteran, look for ways to support their families and thank them for their sacrifices.
Listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM WFGH.
Back here at Scott High School, we're at the half. Scott leads Wayne by a score of 12-9. And, well, Ryan, let's take a look at some of the first half. You need a light on that?
It won't hurt.
There's your little bit of light.
I'm getting older, but first half for Wayne on the ground, Colton Mathis with 8 carries for 35 yards. Rylan Murdoch, 2 carries, 31 yards. Jackson Dameron, 7 carries for 23 yards. Also on the ground for the Pioneers, Fisher Fry, 6 carries, 15 yards. Caden Hayton, 2 carries for 7 yards. Ronnie Staley with 3 carries for 6 yards. As a team, 28 rushes, 117 yards on the ground in the first half for the Pioneers. Through the air, Fisher Fry is 7 of 11. No interceptions, 88 yards passing. Cade Esep, 2 catches, 46 yards. Ronnie Staley, 4 catches, 32 yards. And Grady Spradlin with 1 catch for 10 yards. The Pioneers with 205 yards of total offense in the first half. For Scott, this is a interesting statistical half for the Skyhawks. 8 carries, -1 yard rushing in the first half.
Wow.
But Matt Fry is 5 of 8 for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. He did throw an interception.
Right.
And receiving, Isaiah Brown, 2 catches, 73 yards. Braden Clark, 1 catch, 79 yards. Carson Brenniger, 2 catches for 20 yards. Skyhawks have just 3 first downs in the game. 2 of them resulted in touchdowns, though, and 171 yards of total offense in the first half.
That's interesting.
And it shows you just how dangerous they can be.
Yeah.
Wayne has, in many ways, outplayed Scott for the bulk of this half, and Scott has the lead.
And 2 plays.
That's how good they are.
2 plays is the difference in this ball game right now. And but do you make those plays? And good teams find a way to do it. That's for sure.
The delay of game penalty when Wayne was up 9-6 and had 4th and about half a yard.
Huge.
And then end up coming up about the nose of the football short on 4th down after the penalty. Scott goes down and scores right after that on a big play, and it's amazing how fast they can flip momentum.
Absolutely. Momentum definitely shifted there, and Scott goes down, scores on that 65-yard touchdown pass to Bush, and that's where we stand here at the half. Scott 12, Wayne 9. We're going to take a break, come back. We'll take a look at some scores from across the state of West Virginia, some Mountain State scores for you when we return to the Gridiron Sports Network.
This presentation of Pioneer Football is sponsored by Rustic Ravines. Rustic Ravines offers deluxe cabin rentals and special event planning, as well as some of the best ATV riding and hiking trails in the country. You'll also find kayaking and canoeing, a 3D bow range, fishing, hunting, golfing, and a pet and horse-friendly resort. Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook or 304-385-1085.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM WFGH.
Take a look at some of the scores from across the state of West Virginia this afternoon or this evening. Let's start in AAA. Buchanan, Upshur 20, Ripley nothing. That at the half. I always get this one wrong. Kaiser. I see. I knew it. Kaiser 13.
You weren't around the Wayne program when we ran into them 4 years in a row.
Kaiser actually number 2 in AA. Leads Hedgesville 13-7. Independence, also a AA school, leads Oak Hill 20-6. Oh my goodness, number 1 Huntington 79, South Charleston nothing. And you say you've got some interesting stuff from that one?
Yeah, I happen to know the scoreboard operator at Huntington High, and he tells me that Huntington scored its first 63 points in that game on less than 1 minute of total possession.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
It's hard to score 9 times from anywhere on the field without a defense out there in less than a minute.
Yeah. There must not be much of a defense for South Charleston.
I bet they would have a heck of a 4x100 relay team.
Absolutely. 79-0. That'll be a short one tonight. Martinsburg leads Stonebridge, Virginia 27-0. Hurricane, number 3 in the state in AAA, leads Capital 35-0. Big battle of top 10 teams. Number 4 Bridgeport trailing right now to number 7 Morgantown 15-6. That game in the 3rd period already. Cabell Midland got a late start. They are at Spring Valley. That game also on the Superstation Network over on WFGH. 7-7 the score right now in the 2nd quarter. Must be a good one going on there.
Sounds like a good one at the Wolfstead.
Parkersburg South leads University 32-20. Bluefield, the number 7 team in AA, and Princeton are no score. Wheeling Park all over Brashear, Pennsylvania, 49-0. And then the final, which I think was played last night in triple overtime, Jefferson loses to Sharonda, Virginia, 34-28. Loudon Valley and Musselman scoreless at the half. Spring Mills and Albert Gallatin, Pennsylvania, scoreless at the 1st quarter. Ashland Blazer from over in Kentucky is leading GW right now 21-7. That game in the 2nd quarter. I'll bet my good buddy Dickie Martin is enjoying that one tremendously. Brooke is leading Indian Creek, Ohio 28-7. That's a final actually. I think that was played yesterday as well. Union Local in Ohio leads John Marshall 26-18. And Woodrow Wilson leading Greenbrier East at the half, 28-20. AA, Van, who is a single A team, playing Wyoming East. That game, no score. Chapmanville Polka still in the first quarter. We have no score. Lincoln leads Elkins 27-0. That one at the half. Fairmont Senior defeated Robert C. Byrd 62-34. Number 3, Scott, who we just are seeing right now, is leading Wayne 12-9. Number 4, North Marion leads Preston 34-0. Number 5, Frankfort leading Hampshire 30-14. St. Mary's and Oak Glen, no score. No score, Lincoln County, Roane County. Winfield leading Herbert Hoover 14-7 in the battle of top 10 teams. Greencastle, Pennsylvania leads Berkeley Springs 42-0. Lewis County leads Braxton County 41-0. Liberty Harrison is leading South Harrison 28-6. Logan leads Sissonville at the half 21-14. Mingo Central in the third quarter leads Westside 40-0. Gallia Academy, Ohio leads Point Pleasant 20-10 in the second quarter. Shady Spring leads Nicholas County 21-7 at the half. And Toronto, Ohio leads Weir 12-7. Single A ball. Let's see, Williamstown, number 1 team in the single A, leads Webster County 44-0. That game at the half. Wahama leads number 8 Doddridge County. Wahama, the number 3 team in single A, 34-18 in the fourth quarter. Greenbrier West, number 4, leads Summers County 29-8 in the second period. Tucker County all over Tigers Valley at the half, 50-0. East Hardy over Pendleton County in the third quarter, 32-7. Valley is leading Calhoun 20-7 at the half. Cameron leading 100. There's a school called 100. That's
the 100 Hornets, and they picked up a big win last week over Clay Battelle. First time they've beaten them in a long time.
Wow.
100's a very small school, very rural, up toward the northern panhandle, but just a little bit shy of that northern panhandle. But the 100 Hornets, one of small town West Virginia lore. I'll tell you what, they've had some excellent basketball teams. Not recently, but in the past. That's a community that, unfortunately, like so many in West Virginia, is struggling a little bit population-wise, but a very proud one. And they picked up a win last week over Clay Battelle, and they took a picture with the scoreboard. Loved it.
Well, let me guess. They used to be a big place.
Never a big place. No, but
population about 100.
Roughly 100. Yeah. I know that some of the people who are listening will remember some of the very good Vinson High School basketball teams, and they multiple times would be at the state tournament with Vinson. 100 would. So those are sometimes you never forget a name like 100.
Right, exactly. That's like in Kentucky, there was a school called the Hazel Green Bullfrogs that were just a small, tiny school, won state championship. And in Kentucky, we only have one state championship.
The state champion. That includes the Louisville, Lexington Metro schools.
Absolutely. No matter if you've got here would be well, in football in Kentucky there's 6 classes, which is way too many, but if you're a 6A school or a 1A school, they all go to the state tournament together. And the Hazel Green Bullfrogs, 1947, I believe it was. That's one of lore, much like the 100 here. Let's see, Midland Trail leads Tulsa 8-0. That game in the first period. Moorfield leads Pocahontas County 40-6 at the half. And Montcalm leads Twin Valley, Virginia 41-0. That game at the half. Here in Madison, the Scott Skyhawks leading the Wayne Pioneers at the half. Score is 12-9. Scott ranked number 3 in AA football right now. But this Cardinal Conference is absolutely loaded last year and this year. It's unreal, the amount of talent.
Last year, especially, it was a quarterback league. Now, unfortunately, several of those quarterbacks got hurt as the season went along, and I don't think the Cardinal Conference got the representation in the postseason of what those teams were caliber-wise during the season.
Absolutely.
When you talk about Matt Fry, who is one of the better dual-threat quarterbacks in all of West Virginia, quite frankly, and then it's just you've got Hatfield at Herbert Hoover. They've struggled. He's capable any given play of breaking the field and breaking a long play. It's definitely a quarterback league, and it's a good league. It's an excellent league. I think the league the past 2 years, top to bottom, has been as strong as I remember it being.
It's great. I mean, you look at Scott ranked number 3, and then I think Herbert Hoover at 7, Winfield at 10. So you've got some 3 or 4 top 10 teams. Of course, this early in the year, those rankings mean very little.
Right, and last
a lot
year,
of that goes on last year's production. So
yeah, and last year Independence was, quite frankly, just a cut above everyone. And I think some people may have thought they are again this year coming in, and especially after last week when they beat Liberty Raleigh 54-0, and that was the halftime score. But they're struggling with Oak Hill right now. It's tied at 20, and maybe Independence comes back toward the fold. But now you look at Fairmont Senior perhaps as being the class of Class AA. Beyond that, I think the Cardinal Conference might have the next best 3 teams.
3 or 4 teams, depending on what happens. Well, right now, Wayne hanging right in there with the number 3 team in the state, and they have the football when we return to action here in just a few minutes. And tell you what, as we were talking about off air there a moment ago, this first possession could be a make or break possession for the Pioneers. If they can march the ball down the field, get a score, take the lead, that goes a lot of ways towards the end of this ball game. If they go 3 and out and give up a big play, go down a couple scores, and that could mean doom for your team. It's just people discredit, I think, a lot of times momentum and mentality in sports. And momentum and mentality, I call them the M&Ms, are huge factors in any sport you play. I don't care what the sport is. If you've got momentum on your side and you can stay mentally tough, you've got a shot at winning anything.
I mean, you see that in multiple sports. I think that plays out best in Major League Baseball, quite frankly, because the whole goal of Major League Baseball, play well and make the postseason and be playing well when you go in.
Right.
Because you don't have to be the best team all year. You just have to be playing well at the right time.
That's exactly right.
You look at what the Reds did this year. I mean, quite frankly, they've played 500 ball the past month, and we're all disappointed.
Right.
Well, we would have been happy with 500 before that.
But when they went on that 12-game winning streak,
you saw what they could be.
That's exactly right. Right now, they're
about to get swept in a
They're down 3-1, I think.
Yeah, and they did not start either of their new waiver acquisitions in Game 2 of the doubleheader today.
Well,
but
I don't know if it helped them in Game 1.
They did.
They combined for 0 for 6 or something like that.
That's correct.
So,
not to lose the point, though. You hate to maybe put too much weight on one possession in Game 2, but we've seen how this goes.
Right.
You and I have been around football for the biggest part of our lives.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's easier to look back in hindsight and go, well, that was where we made the turn.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the moment, this is where you can make the turn.
Right, exactly.
And if Wayne wants to put together a type of season that, make the playoffs, I'd love to get back to the playoffs. It's been a while. And would love to see this program, this community get to enjoy the playoffs once again. You work hard with this possession, you make a play, you get some confidence, and you go from there. And that doesn't necessarily change the result of this game, but you realize you can go up against one of the top teams in AA and stand toe-to-toe with them.
That's exactly right. And as you said, a win here would springboard a season towards playoffs tremendously. Even playing well will do that to an extent, but a win gives you huge confidence going into playing the Winfields, who were very good last year and top 10 team this year, or playing the Chapmanvilles and the Herbert Hoovers of the conference. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun, like you said, it's a fun league. I don't know how the season's going to go for Wayne. I don't know. But I feel like there are going to be a lot of competitive football games this year.
I do too.
And if you the expectations raised at Wayne for that 15-year run with 7 state championship game appearances and 3 state titles in there, and always in the playoffs, and about 13 semifinal appearances in there. So the expectation on Friday night, you hope to see a good game.
Absolutely.
You hope to see your team play well. Forget the state championship part.
Win or lose, you want to
live in that Friday night.
Have a good game. Have them play well.
Live in that Friday night. And this has a chance to be a very enjoyable season, regardless of what happens, with a chance to have a lot of competitive football games.
Oh, I'll tell you what, from the game and a half that we've seen so far, I can say this. If you come to Pioneer Stadium and watch a game, you're going to see fun football. This is not your grandfather's Wayne football right now. It's not three yards in a cloud of dust. It's spreading the ball out a little bit more creative in the offensive side of things. And it's definitely a different brand this year for Coach Tom Harmon. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not going to the spread or the West Coast offense or anything along those lines, but it is opened up quite a bit compared to recent years.
6 kids ran the ball in the first half for Wayne. 2 other kids caught passes in the first half. I mean, you get everybody involved.
Yep, and if you've got weapons, use them. So here we go. Brenniger is going to kick the ball away for the Skyhawks. Puts the boot to it from the 40-yard line. It goes to the far side, hits at about the 30, and it's going to go out of bounds. So much like the opening kickoff went out of bounds, so does the kickoff here in the second half. And Wayne will get the ball 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line to begin this second half as they trail 12-9. Again,
I think they're going to make them re-kick it. I think Wayne feels pretty good about its return team and wants to take a chance and maybe
move them back.
Return.
Move them back to the 35-yard line and kick it again.
We'll see how that plays out.
I think Coach Dolan assumed I did.
Yeah, I think whether it works out or not, this is a show of confidence from Tom Harmon toward his kick return team. So we'll see if they reward that confidence.
Plus, it gives the umpire a chance to use his signals.
So the only time he gets to make his signal is a kickoff penalty.
So he gets to show us he can do an illegal procedure penalty as well. So Brenniger will tee it up from the 35-yard line. And let's see what he'll do this time. If it goes out of bounds this time, you definitely take it because you get it to 40. This one's going to hit at the 25-yard line, picked up on the far side by Staley. He's got some room. He's across midfield and out to the 45-yard line of Wayne. Or excuse me, of the Skyhawks.
And
so that one turned around. You go from the 35-yard line of your own over to your opponent's 45-yard line. That's a 20-yard pickup.
Ronnie Staley is just an excellent athlete, and you're getting to see that this year. Last year, he hadn't played football in a while. He comes out, he plays well defensively, works his way into a starting role, and they were working him into getting some more carries late in the year last year. And it was one of those situations where if the season had been longer, he would have been a bigger part of the offense too. This year, though, they came in wanting to work on ways to get him the football. He had 7 touches in the first half, 4 catches, 3 rushes.
High snap, but Fry pulls it down, then sticks it in the gut of Jackson Dameron, and there was just nothing there. It was a late developing play because of the high snap. And Fry not happy as he runs back to the sideline, as there'll be no gain on that one.
And any time the timing's thrown off, much like how Wayne is getting pressure on Fry,
a little bobble here
Scott
and there.
is getting pressure on Wayne's Fry.
Yep. They'll send twins to the near side. Single wing to the near side. One back in the backfield. Back to throw is Fry. Looking, has a man in the flats. It's going to be caught by Mathis at the 45-yard line. Gets across the 40 up to about the 39-yard line. So a nice pass to Colton Mathis. We'll get it up. They're going to spot him right at the 39-yard line. So to bring up 3rd down and about 4. They need to get to the 35. And
you want to see Mathis tuck that ball in a little bit.
Yeah, he had that ball out there a little bit. A good lick may have popped that one free. Twins to the far side. Pistol formation, wing back to the far side as well. Back to throw, big rush. And Fry's just going to have to throw it. And did he catch it? I believe he did. Did Ryland Murdoch haul that one in? Yes. They're going to give him the catch. Murdoch gets the ball at the 32-yard line. Fry just kind of flipped that out there as he was on a dead run to the far side of the field and just kind of flicked it. But Murdoch able to catch the ball before stepping out of bounds. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers at the 32. That's a big play right there. Give the ball to the second back through. And not much, a couple. As
Scott has a player down on the opposite hash.
Yeah, Murdoch was on the carry, but we've got a player down for the Skyhawks back on the far side of the field, right at the 30, near the line of scrimmage. They're going to give Murdoch to the 29-yard line, so a gain of about 3. We've got a player down for Scott. We'll remind you about superstationsilver.com. You can get gold and silver delivered to your door. There's a way to buy silver and gold just like the rich guys, and you can do it fractionally and hold it in your hand. There's a lot of benefits to superstationsilver.com, and it also helps support the Superstation Network and Hazel's Wish, which we will give you more information on. That website, by the way, is up, hazelswish.com. Go there and volunteer. We're not asking for money. We're just asking for volunteers at this moment to help put some things together for Hazel's Wish. But you can own gold or silver by visiting superstationsilver.com.
Zachary McNeely was the player shaken up, and he was able to walk off under his own power.
That's always good to see. Well, last week when they had a kid leaving on an ambulance, that's never,
no.
I don't care what school it is, you never want to see that. Fry gives it to the second back through, and that's Staley, and he is going to get down to about the 35-yard line, maybe the 36, or excuse me, the 25 or the 26. I'm going to say the 26-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. Closer to 3 probably. And you got to think the way Coach Tom Harmon rolled the dice in the first half, this is 4-down territory for the Pioneers, so you don't necessarily have to get it all right here, although you definitely take it.
This is kind of that medium range, and Wayne's had trouble running the ball up the middle. Play clock is working now at 8.
Murdoch in the slot. They're going to give it off to Staley, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And a nice play by the linebacker coming in there, Ty Mitchell. And he's going to throw him back to the 30-yard line. So loss of about 4 is going to bring up 4th down and 8. And why not go for it here? I mean, a punt, you might net a few yards, but why not go for it? I mean, if you punt the ball in the end zone, you're only netting 10 yards. Plus, you're giving Bush and Clark a chance to return a football. I don't want to put it in their hands unless I have to. So they're going to go for it here. 4th and 8. They send Murdoch in motion. Back to throw is Fry. A dump screen across the middle is going to be touched by Staley and then dropped incomplete. That's going to be an incomplete pass. It was way too high. It was a setup for a bubble screen to Ronnie Staley. And Fry had big time rush in front of him and tried to dump it off. Was unable to get it to Staley, so it'll be over on downs to the Skyhawks at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Well, Wayne able to move the football somewhat in that series, but comes up short. Matt Fry has twins to the near side, twins to the far side, single setback. Cooper to his right. Oh, hard count, jumped, and it looks like Wayne may have got into the neutral zone, and they did.
6 penalties, 22 yards against the Pioneers.
Fry with the hard count. Wayne listening instead of looking, and that'll get you most times. If you listen and don't look, you're going to jump 1st and 5 from the 35. They take it to Cooper, and Fry's going to try to keep it, and he's dumped in the backfield by Harry Sowards. Sowards got in there quick from that linebacker position and able to throw him for a loss of 2. We'll bring up 2nd down and 7. 12-9 your score. Scott Skyhawks on top. We're in the 3rd period with 7:57 remaining in the period. Fry has twins to the near side, twins to the far side. Back to throw. Looking. Big rush. He has to step up, and he's got room. He's got room to the sideline, and he's going to get close to 1st down yardage. He was looking at the yard marker, and I think he stepped out right at the 1st down marker. I think he needed the 40, and that's right where he stepped out. So it is going to be a 1st down for the Skyhawks. And that was just good field presence right there. He knew exactly where he needed to get to, got to it, ran out of bounds before getting hit. Anytime I can not get hit, I'm happy.
Hey, move the chains and don't get hit.
That's a goal for me. When I was playing anyway. Of course, I never held the football unless somebody made a bad mistake. Back to throw is Fry. Big pressure coming from behind. He lets it fly down the field and overthrows his intended receiver on the far side of the football field. I think that's Braden Clark he was trying to get it to. And just nothing there. Just overthrew him, but nice pressure, heavy pursuit that time. It appeared to be Tanner McMillan that was coming from his right end position.
He was involved in several plays last week as well. He's been very active in the first 2 weeks of the season.
And that's a name I don't remember from last year. So McMillan getting some big-time playing going on here. 2nd and 10 for the Skyhawks. They send a man in motion, Bush to the near side. Rush up the gut. Flushed out of the pocket is Fry. Throws it downfield and just throws that one away. That time he was under big-time pressure from Cooper Adkins. Is Cooper and Zane related?
They're related because every Adkins and Wayne is related in some form. But Cooper Adkins' grandfather is David Morris, who was the 1968 Kennedy Award winner from Wayne as the State Player of the Year. Played at WVU.
Wow.
And he is part of triplets. His sisters are standouts on the girls' basketball team and volleyball team.
Well, there you go. Adkins, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting an Adkins and Wayne, can you? Back to throw is Fry. Nice swim move by Sowards, flushes him out of the pocket. He's looking. He's still on his feet as he's been very elusive, but finally brought down in the backfield. And number 30 in there to get him that time on the defensive side of the football, and that's Tristan Turner, who's going to throw him for a huge loss all the way back to the 32, 33-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down and about a $15 Uber ride for the Scott Skyhawks, and they'll have to go in punt formation.
I'm going to give Fry a lot of credit for extending that play and extending that play. I'm going to give the Wayne defense a lot of credit for just continuing to come after him.
Well, I've seen him in the past get away from that and ended up scoring a 60-yard touchdown. So they were able to keep him contained as here comes, there's a bad snap. Well, it wasn't a bad snap, just a slow snap, but there was a whistle and a flag, and Wayne may be offsides. Flags on the far side of the field. Nope, they're going to call an illegal procedure. False start against Scott.
Now, I might be wrong here, but if I saw that correctly, I think that's more kind of like the snap infraction and maybe why the snap was slow. I think the ball came up stop,
and then down.
Like a little hitch in the snap.
Usually the umpire throws that flag. That flag came in from a line judge, but he can easily see that as well. Generally, the umpire sees that because that's his responsibility. Yeah. But nonetheless,
because I didn't see any movement along the line, and it didn't appear that anyone had lined up offside.
Unless the far wideout did, but again, we can't tell that from here. Fennessy standing at his own 15 to receive this snap, gets a good snap. high, shorter kick this time, but Wayne's going to let it hit, and we'll see what kind of bounce it takes. Kind of sideways, and a little bit of a Scott bounce is going to go dead at about the 37, 36-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10. They're going to put it right at the 37-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Wayne Pioneers.
36-yard punt. Net of 36. That's probably more important than the distance of the punt. Wayne's not been able to get a return on the punt so far, and we've seen in the kick return game, Wayne's return game has been strong tonight.
That's because Finnessy gets that ball way up in the air. Had a 51-yarder, which was definitely bounce-aided in the first half. So Wayne has the ball trailing 12-9. We're in the third quarter. 6:15 left to play in the quarter, and there's I don't know what that was.
I think that pass was tipped, or it came out of the side of his hand, one or the other.
It looked like they faked the pitch to Dameron, and he jumped up like he was faking everybody out, and then they were going to try to throw a little screen pass to Murdoch, and that just blew up. That was just not a very well executed play. It may be well designed, but
yeah, there's a difference in running that on Tuesday evening of practice and running on Friday night. I mean,
that's exactly right.
This is part of the growing process for Fisher Fry quarterback. He's done a good job tonight.
Murdoch and Staley come to the near side, split to the far side. They're going to throw a little hitch to the far side. It's going to be caught on the far side of the field. And I believe that was Cade Eastep who hauled that one in. Then it was. So Eastep will get it down to the 45-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd down and a couple. Very manageable here.
Eastep at 6'2", and that's tall. But it seems like he's even rangier than that.
He's got long arms.
He just kind of plucks the ball out of the air.
So big 3rd down here. You can't think they're going to be in 4-down territory on their side of the ball. So let's see what happens. They give it to Jackson Dameron, and he's not going to get it. Dameron's going to be about a yard shy.
On the play, brings up 4th down.
Well, excuse me, that was Mathis. They faked it to Dameron. He's faking me out. I'll just tell you. These ball fakes have got me faked out. That was Colton Mathis on that carry, who picks up a yard. And I don't see the punt team coming out, although Fisher Fry is the punter. Looks like Wayne's going to run their offense out there. Oh, this is a bold move right here. Some might say that Tom Harmon got some brass ones here. They go Mathis on the sweep, and he gets it. Mathis will go out of bounds on the other side of the 50-yard line around the 49 of Scott. So 1st down, big move, and a bold move by Coach Tom Harmon as Mathis runs the sweep and gets the 1st down yardage on the Scott 49-yard line. 1st and 10.
And to go sweep.
Wow.
With that distance to go.
Wow.
Tells you, Coach Harmon's not confident about winning inside the tackles right now.
Not right now, he's not. Here's a big rush on Fry, and he's going to have to eat that one. As he had a whole plethora of Skyhawks around him. I know a group of crows is called a murder. I don't know of a murder of Skyhawks, but it looked like there could have been a murder right there.
They just they smelled blood in the water, and they were just it was a gold jersey.
4 on the play. Back to the 47-yard line. 2nd and 14. Pistol formation. Fry back to throw. A screen pass to Staley on the far side. He got a nice block, and he's off on the move and gets close to 1st down yardage. He's going to be about a yard shy. But, boy, he got a nice block on that far side and squirted to the inside before being brought down by the free safety. And he's going to be a football shy of a 1st down.
Now, I don't know if that was Eastep or if that was Zane Atkins out there or if it was even Grady Spradlin. Someone, as you mentioned, sealed that block outside.
The block was Spradlin.
And that's something the receivers have been doing a good job of early in the season for Wayne, is blocking on those outside screens.
And those things are not on your stat sheet or in your newspaper articles.
No.
But
the guy with the ball gets all the credit.
But they have to be done. And Grady Spradlin was at a tight end position there, and he is the one that got out there. And, oh, my goodness, Colt Mathis on a 3rd and inches makes it 3rd and 6. Wow. Isn't that twice? Didn't he? Wasn't he?
I think it was Ryan Murdoch.
Was that Murdoch the last time?
So it's been, Wayne has been in 3 different 1 yard to go situations and committed penalties.
Wow, you just can't do that. You got to know the snap count. You just got to. And now instead of 3rd and 1, you're at 3rd and 6.
Tim, I think Wayne was going to throw the ball there.
I do too.
I think Colton Mathis was excited to head down that seam.
I think he was going to run a hitch right there, and that's why he got a jump, and that's what happens sometimes. Getting the play in rather late. As the play clock's down to 10, and they have not broken huddle yet. They're going to have to hustle. They're going to get a delay of game on top of everything. Play clock's at 2. And Coach Tom Harmon, he's livid. He's called a timeout. The play clock was down to 1, and he had to call a timeout. And he is not a happy camper. He marched out there. Of course, he wasn't happy about the penalty to start with. And now having to use a timeout here in the 3rd period.
Of a one-score game. I mean, you're talking about you may need this timeout later down the road. But if you convert this 3rd down, it's worth it in the moment.
12-9, your score. Scott on top. I just looked at the scoreboard and forgot what time, but 2:34. 2:34 left to play. I tell you
it's
what.
It's an effort.
I'm off tonight.
That's the only thing about and this is unfortunate in many press box facilities. They're not built to look out and look at games.
No, they're not.
And it's just this is the way. The one in Wayne has too many walls in it too.
Yeah, here's the deal. For most high schools, especially, this is a standard window. Mm-hmm. To put in a wider window, would even if it's a foot wider, is going to cost you double. Mm-hmm. And so, most people, when they build a press box, even though it's called the press box, don't think about press. They think about their scoreboard operator, the PA guy. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And you know, this is part of it, but what you don't see in the glamour of broadcasting ball games is I'm sitting behind center block. Yeah. There's center block between the field and I. So.
That's exactly right. Fry across the middle throws it way too high. Way too high. If that ball hits Spradlin, he's got a first down because he could easily move downfield.
Play was there.
It was right
just
there.
Just didn't execute it.
Fry just threw it. And Grady Spradlin's not a short fellow by any stretch. He's 5'11", 6 foot tall.
He threw the fastball there, too.
He did.
That ball had a little zip on it from not very far.
Looked like Duarte today. Fastball, but not even close to target.
Wayne's in pump formation this time.
And Scott has nobody back. So Fry is going to kick a wobbly kick that's going to go down inside the 20, go sideways at about the 16-yard line. So if it's 4th and 1, you go for it there. 4th and 6, probably not. So they're going to punt and put Scott down inside the 20. It looks like they put him at the 17-yard line.
28-yard punt, but inside the 20.
No return. Against this bunch, I'll take it every day.
This has been a Scott offense that has struggled to move the ball, but when it has scored on big plays.
Huge plays. 2 79-yarder and a 65-yard pass play. Fry, shotgun, back to throw, has time. They set up a screen, a bubble screen, and that's read perfectly, and I mean read perfectly by Tristan Turner. They got the ball completed to Jax McCarty, number 10, but Turner was right there on his hip, and they even lost a yard on that one.
I think the play was executed properly, but he just beelined for the receiver.
I think Turner, they've seen that play on film and said if they do this, here's what they're going to do. Tristan, your job is to hit the tight end right there, and that's exactly what he did. Back to throw. Quick out, and a nice grab from midair there by Bush. I mean, good defenders right there. Zane Atkins was right there. that was just hauled out of midair by Bush. They'll put him out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. So a gain of about 7, maybe 8 on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd and a couple.
That's a young man that catches everything around him.
Yes, he does. He's got some quick hands. And they, in and out of the hands. That was a first down. And McCarty could not hang on to it. That was a very hard-thrown football. I mean, a hard-thrown football.
That was
McCarty,
dangerous
yeah,
because that was above McCarty's shoulder pads.
Yes.
So if that ball deflects up, that was a sitting duck
If
for a
that
pick
ball,
six.
if that ball goes up in the air and the safety behind him, that could easily have been a pick six. You're exactly right. So, 3 and out will bring Fennessy back out. Murdoch back deep. And good snap. Fennessy, high kick towards Staley, and he's going to let it hit, and it takes a Wayne bounce and bounces all the way back to midfield. So a nice play there to let that ball hit, and that one had looked like a 9-iron, more like a pitching wedge maybe. It backed up pretty good.
Now, Rylan Murdoch made the exact right play there, but Scott's Gunners almost overran that ball so severely that
he could have picked it up,
but not quite.
Yep.
He made the right decision
It was
not
right.
to. But he was looking for it. I mean, he
thought about it.
He did. He gave it a thought.
But, man, you pick that ball up and drop it. Oh, man.
It's a long walk back to Wayne.
Well, I guarantee you, because Tom Harmon would not have him on the bus. Well, no. But he would be riding under the bus.
And Murdoch's has had an excellent game today. He's been making those right decisions all night.
Just under a minute to go here in the third. Still 12-9. Fry flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. And a big sack coming up with that one was big number 54, and that is Caden Mills. A loss of 5 on the play will take it all the way back to the 45-yard line, and we've got a player down for the Pioneers. And the way they're looking, it's a cramp. Anytime a player holds that leg straight up, that usually means there's a cramp in the calf muscle. Trainer will come out and rub it out.
And
usually, I'll say.
And that's Fisher Fry, so he will have to come out.
Yep.
On a big, 2nd and long coming up here. That play, Wayne had what it wanted deep, but it couldn't give Fry enough time.
Right.
Ronnie Staley was coming across the field and had a step on his defender, but Fry had no opportunity to throw it. So that was, sometimes you risk that defensively. You risk getting the extra pressure.
Right.
For the defender on the backside, and it paid off for the Skyhawks there. Excellent defense.
Fry up and running to the sideline, but as Ryan said, he will have to set out this play, so you've got to think probably Grady Spradlin, who started at quarterback at the beginning of last year before getting hurt. You got to think he's going to be in there at quarterback now, and he is. So I think, no, Ronnie Staley. Nope, it's Spradlin. It's Spradlin. Grady Spradlin with Dameron. We saw that a lot last year. And Spradlin fakes a hitch, and wow, did he overthrow that one. E-Step was over there, but he would have had to been Jesse Owens to run fast enough to get under that one. And probably most people listening to me have no idea who Jesse Owens was. 1936, look it up. Google it. Is that what the young kids say today?
Yes, Google it.
It was a hitch and go, and Spradlin faked it and just well overthrew E-Step on that one. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 15.
Spradlin will remain in at quarterback here.
And Spradlin will come up under center. No wideouts. A little power football here. And they're going to hand it off to the first back through, and that's Spradlin. And he's not going to get enough for the first down, but he did pick up about 8 or 9 as he'll get into Skyhawk territory to the 45-yard line. So he got 10 yards on that carry. He's going to bring up 4th and 5. Now, Spradlin's looking at Coach Tom Harmon because Fry is also the punter.
I think Wayne ran that play as though it intended to punt on fourth down. But now with the end of the quarter ends here, now you'll have an extra moment to think about it.
So that's going to end the first quarter. I wondered why they were standing around, but I didn't want to sit on Ryan's lap to look and see how much time was left. That's going to be the end of the third quarter. A scoreless third quarter here in Madison, West Virginia. So we'll go to the fourth and final. Your score still the Scott Skyhawks 12, the Wayne Pioneers 9. We'll be back in a moment here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
It's that very special time of the year, and that means it's time for high school football. This is Fred Persinger inviting you to join Dave, Jacqueline, and me every Friday night this fall for high school game night on the Metro News Radio Network. We'll bring you all the scores, stories, and interviews from high school football games being played all over the state. High school game night, 17 years and going strong. Heard every Friday night.
After the game tonight on the Superstation Network.
Well, back here at Scott High School, where we are heading to the fourth and final. 12-9 your score. Scott leads Wayne. Wayne has the football, 4th down and 5 on the Scott 45-yard line. They will huddle up, and looks like Grady Spradlin is still in there. Now, Grady punted last year as well, so this isn't going to tell us anything until they break huddle.
On your feet, let's make some noise.
And they are going to punt. Scott has no one deep. I don't think they realize that there's going to be a punt here. Now they'll run Brinegar back last minute. Oh, and Wayne was way offsides there. The near gunner, number 5, which is Justin Perry, was 5 yards down the field before the ball was even moved. So that is Zane Adkins back there to punt. And it was a bad snap, and there's another offside, another false start. So 10 yards and penalties. Went from 4th and 5 to 4th and 15, and we keep walking backwards.
You went from punting for field position now to just trying to get rid of this football.
Well, I can guarantee you that gunner is going to be sitting on the back of the bus. Man, that's a wobbly kick, and it's a terrible kick. Going to take a bit of a Wayne roll, but that barely would have been a first down. So
17-yard punt.
Good field position for the Skyhawks after 10 yards in penalties and a not-so-good punt. Will place the ball 1st and 10 on the Skyhawk 38-yard line as the Skyhawks lead at 12-9, just underway here in the fourth period. They send a single wide out to the near side, single wide out to the far side, wing back to the near side, shotgun formation, single setback. They give it to the setback. That's Cooper, and he's still moving the pile, Nice run that time by Preston Cooper. McMillan appeared to be the initial hit man, but it took a whole bunch of Pioneers to pull him down. Gain of 5 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 5. Same formation. Single wide out either way. Single setback. Wing back to the near side. Slot to the near side. They give it to Cooper again. He's trying to turn the corner. Can't. Cuts it back inside, and he'll get something out of nothing there and get close to a Scott first down. He just kept running to the sideline, ran out of real estate, cut it back to the inside, able to pick up 4. It's going to be 3rd and a yard, and Scott comes straight to the football. And Fry under center for the first time tonight. This could be a quarterback keep. Nope. They give it to the first back through, and that's Cooper once again. He's got first down yardage and then some. As he gets across midfield, up to the Wayne 46-yard line. First down for the Skyhawks, and they're in a hurry-up offense now. They're going to run the football down the throats here. It looks like Fry under center once again. They give it once again to Cooper up the gut. He gets across the 45 up to about the 44. Gain of a couple.
This is an intentional no-huddle dive offense right now.
Absolutely. It's just smash-mouth football. No wideouts, double tights, but one play-action pass away from breaking it open. They try to give it to the back, and that was Brenniger.
Brenniger, yeah, and
he was
Colton Mathis there to meet him in the backfield.
Got him back in the backfield, so the 2 yards that they gained on the last play, they lost right back on this play. Brings up 3rd and 10. And looks like Scott's is mainly trying to run some clock, but also trying to run the football, and not successfully on this hurry up.
They were in a hurry up, no huddle, run the clock.
It's crazy.
It was unique.
Now they do have a slot receiver to the far side, and he moved. That slot receiver moved, but before, Coach Dolan had called a timeout. So before the movement, we have timeout called by Scott. We're in the 4th and final period with 9:34 remaining in the football game. Your score, Scott 12, Wayne 9. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment on the Gridiron Sports Network.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 WFGH.
In the fabric of America, they are the toughest threads. One of the first things they learned was the code that every service member lives by. Leave no one behind. Now all of us need to live by it too, because some veterans are being left behind. 20 of them take their own lives every day. Learn how to be there for a veteran at BeThereForVeterans.com. Honor the code. Be there. Leave no one behind.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM, WFGH.
Back after the timeout, Scott now opens it up. They got twins to the near side, single wide out to the far side, back to the shotgun for Matt Fry. Single setback flanks his left. They send a man in motion, back to throw. Throwing to the near side, it's going to be caught, but well short of the first down. Nice play there by Staley. Catching the football was Brenniger. And Ronnie Staley that was Caden Hayton that ran him out of bounds, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Caden Hayton. It's going to bring up 4th down and about 6, so Hennessy will come back onto the field. And Staley will go back, and now what do we got? We got a whistle for some reason. What's going on? Well, we must have an illegal procedure. Yep. 5-yard penalty.
That must have been something immediate.
He must have been lined up well offside.
He put his hand down and sat there for a
boom.
Yeah.
So back Tennessee up. The punt teams have had some trouble tonight. Good snap. Oh, and he fumbled a snap and blocked. The kick is blocked. And Scott it doesn't matter who recovers it. It's going to be Wayne football. Scott will recover the punt, but it was blocked. And that's going to give the football to Wayne, an excellent field position at the Skyhawk 45-yard line. It wasn't a terrible snap. It was a little bit low, but Tennessee, when he tried to switch from the grip to go to punt the football, dropped it, tried to get the kick off, but Scott was right there to block. Wayne was right there to block it. I couldn't see who got in there. But it was a nice play nonetheless, and Wayne will have the ball in excellent field position, 1st and 10 on the Skyhawk 45-yard line, and this is a drive you got to have, Ryan.
You got to do something with it right
you
here.
Gotta
Fisher
score
Fry
right
back
here.
in at quarterback.
Fry in with Dameron to his left. They give it off to Staley. He makes a man miss, gets to the outside, turns the corner, and then gets pummeled as he gets up to about the 42. And then we've got a Scott player down bad.
Oh, that did not look good. The way he kicked his leg up in the air.
That is, you hate to see it. Like I say, I don't
that
care
young
if
man is writhing in pain right now. That's difficult to see.
I don't care if it's your most heated rival. You never want to see a young man hurt. And this young man is down, and like Ryan said, he is writhing in pain. Back in my day, they said, I spit on it and go on, but you don't do that. Staley with a nice, that was a hard fought 3 yards because he was hit, or he was chased very closely in the backfield, I'll say that, and could have easily have lost 2 or 3. Ended up gaining 3.
He earned every one of those 9 feet. He earned.
He absolutely earned every inch of those.
And I'm not going to speculate on this injury as he is up and walking off the field right now. I can't see the number wrong.
It looks like it might be Brenniger.
It might be. No.
Is it 5 or 3?
No, because Brenniger is just tapped him on the head, didn't he? Or was that Bush? 6 and 5 were
that
very
was Bush
similar.
that tagged him on
there
the
you
head.
go. So that
is.
No, that was. Oh goodness, my eyes are failing me.
No, that's Bush.
Okay, that's Bush who was hurt,
and he's grabbing his shoulder now. Yeah, that was Brenniger. Bush is 6. Yeah. Brenniger is 5.
You hope that it was that initial shock of pain, and then it just like you feel like it's worse than it ends up being.
Hand off to Mathis. He's got room to the outside. He's still on his feet. Gets down inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Nice run by Colton Mathis. A quick hitter off the right side. And they're going to give him the 18-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. No, excuse me. That's at the 23-yard line, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Hey, it is difficult. It's just difficult. Colton Mathis, so yards have been a little bit difficult to come by on the ground for Wayne tonight, and Mathis,
he's fine.
Able to get that one step, one cut, to find some open space.
This time they give it to Jackson Dameron up the gut. Dameron able to find some room as he gets across the 20 down to the 19-yard line. And we've got a player down. That is Dameron.
And that appears to be a cramp again.
It's Jackson Dameron who just ran the football, and they're going to the, I call it the cramp protocol, where you stick your leg up and the coach grabs your calf and moves it around, and it hurts like the dickens till he rubs it out, and then you want to give him a big hug if you weren't on the football field. Clock is arrested at 7:50 left to play in the ball game. 12-9, still your score. This has been a scoreless second half. This has just been a defensive struggle.
Yeah, this second half, there's been very, very little offense, not just on the scoreboard, but just yards have been hard to come by. Both these teams are playing hard. I mean, these are 2 teams early in the year that are playing with the intensity of a late season game.
Well, I think both teams realize how important this game is to possible playoff implications, even though it's week 2. Because a win here propels you, gives you at least a good edge on the rest of the Cardinal Conference of getting that win and getting those points and getting into the playoff situation down the road. So a gain of 4 or 3 on that play is going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Staley in at the tailback. They're going to give it to him. He turns the corner to the outside, cuts it back to the inside. He's going to have 1st down yardage, I believe. Looks like from here they're going to put him down at about the 12 or 13. Let's see. Yep, they're moving the chains. They're going to give him the 13, the 12-yard line. Yep, 15-4. That's the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Wayne in this position, Ryan, has to come away with a touchdown.
I mean, they've been here multiple times and only have 1 touchdown to show for it.
Murdoch gets the handoff. Bounces it to the outside after getting hit. And put 6 on the board for the Pioneers. Murdoch from 13 yards out gives Wayne the lead. We do have an injured player on the field. No flags on the play. And Wayne will take a 16-12 lead. Excuse me, 15-12 lead. I'm adding the PAT already. But this will be an important PAT. No question about it. Wow. Is that a 13-yard run?
I think it's 12.
12-yard
and that was Colton Mathis again. That step in looked like he was in traffic, and then took a step back out and ran around the end and found the open space, turned the corner,
and boom,
and got to the pylon.
7:03 here in the fourth period. And this is a huge PAT for KD Step to make it a 4-point game. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. So with 7:08 to go in the ball, 7:03 to go in the ball game, Wayne leads the Scott Skyhawks 16-12, and you're hearing it all right here on the Gridiron Sports Network. Well, I wanted to play that.
The real Don Steele. Live from the 60s. All right. I'm going to tell you, you can't listen to this one sitting down, so come on, everybody. Now I want you to do that funny little thing you do with your mouth here. Okay, pucker up. That's it. I love it. Sly and the Family Stone, ladies.
Live from the 60s with a real Don Steele, Monday at 7 on WFGH. You're listening to high school football action on Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
Pioneers take the lead. KD Step set to kick it away with 7:03 to go, and it's a nice long kick that's going to drive the Skyhawks all the way back to the 3-yard line. That's Clark. And Clark's got some room, and he'll get all the way back out to about the 37-yard line.
Best kick of the night for Wayne. Worst kick coverage of the night for the Pioneers.
Outkick the coverage. As they'll put him out of bounds at the 39. Yep, they're going to give him the ball to the 39-yard line with 7 minutes left to play in this ball game. The Wayne Pioneers have their first lead of the night. No, they led 9-6. Yes, they did. Trying to pull some big defensive stand. Boy, there's a hole bigger than nothing right in the middle, and it's not called, and Clark catches the ball near midfield, gets across the 40, down inside the 35, and still on his feet until a host of Wayne Pioneers pulls him down. And the people up here is wanting the flag. What flag are you going to throw there? They blow that
the
dead.
problem was they were really late blowing the play dead. That was the problem.
You play to the whistle, right?
Yep. Because he was still moving the pile forward, but
absolutely, you play to the whistle.
More.
It'll be a first down for the Scott Skyhawks, and we have another cramp on the field. It's not that hot, but still early in the season, hydration problems. Can't see which Wayne player is down right now. But there was a hold in the center. There was an edge rusher, and I'm telling you, if a wrestling referee out there, he would have given him 2 points for a takedown. No question about it. But you can't call them all. You can't see them all. If I'd have had a flag, I'd have thrown it. But they don't give me flags. That was Tristan Mitchell. Who was that? Or Tristan Turner, I mean. Yeah, Tristan Turner.
And he's made some plays in the backfield.
He has, and he'll have to sit out at least one play.
Hopefully get that stretched out and that cramp will ease up and he can get back on the field.
1st and 10 for the Skyhawks. Ball spotted at the Pioneer 33-yard line. Single wide out to the near side is Clark. And send a wide out to the far side in Bush. Oh, there's movement in the backfield. You didn't think they were going to throw that flag. It was kind of like Brenniger was wanting to go, and kept leaning and finally had to take a step. So that false start brings the Wayne faithful to their feet on the far side. I'll tell you what, win or lose, this is what we've had as a good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what we expect night in, night out in the Cardinal Conference each week.
Absolutely. Single wide out either way. Slot to the near side. They play action. They get it to Clark, and he'll catch it at the 30, fall forward to the 28-yard line. And it's getting a little chippy out there. Got to be careful right now if you're a Pioneer not to do anything excessive and get them a half the distance of a first down or something here. Bring up second down and about 5. Fry in the shotgun. Blitz off the near corner, and they read it perfectly and give it up the gut to Cooper, and he's going to get first down yardage.
Right call against that blitz.
Sure was. They were bringing a blitz off the left edge, right edge. And the inside handoff to Cooper was wide open. He gets down to about the 22-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Skyhawks. Shotgun formation for Fry. They fake it to Cooper, throw it across the middle. It's going to be caught by Brenniger, close to first down yardage.
That's the type of play that's becoming, it has been in vogue for a while now, the run-pass option.
RPO.
Yeah, where the quarterback has the option of handing it to the running back or pulling it back out and throwing the quick pass.
It's just kind of like a zone read situation that they're reading an end generally.
And Brenniger's made the right, and there's
Fry's another RPO, decision. And Fry's going to keep it. Head to the far corner. He gets in. So Scott answers back at the 4:51 mark. And they'll take an 18-16 lead. So Wayne scored when they needed it worse, and now Scott returns the favor. And let's see what Coach Dolan's going to do here. I think you got to kick this one, don't you?
If you kick it, you make it a 3-point game. Wayne has shown that if they get close enough, they could kick one.
I mean, Eastep's got a foot.
Yeah, so if you kick it,
I think you got to kick it here, because if you don't, then you give Wayne a chance to win with a field goal. So we'll see what happens with Ryan Neal out of the hold of Elkins. Good. So with 4:51 left to play in this ball contest, Scott has taken the lead over the Wayne Pioneers, 19-16. A good one here in Madison, West Virginia. Stay tuned. You're listening to Pioneer Football on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This sports presentation is brought to you by our valued community partner, Rustic Ravines. Here's what the Evans family had to say about their experience.
We had the best time. Everyone was friendly, professional, and made us feel welcomed. We rented a side-by-side for a 5-hour ride with our guide through the beautiful mountains of West Virginia. We highly recommend, and we'll be back.
Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085.
Right deal. Set to kick off.
Well, we go an entire quarter and most of the next quarter with 0 offense, and back-to-back drives result in touchdowns. And the Skyhawks have jumped out to a 3-point lead at 19-16 with 4:51 left to play in this ball game as we're nearing the 10 o'clock mark. Ball taken at the 15-yard line. And on the return is Caden Hayton, and he'll get out across the 20 up to about the 25 or 6. We'll see what the spot. They're going to give him the 26-yard line. So about an 11-yard return. Not great field position, but
Hayton hesitated there when he caught the ball. That's been something that Wayne has not done a lot of tonight. They've been very sure in their movements, very confident, and just go. And
Yep.
Anytime you hesitate, it just doesn't end well.
He was looking to see where his blockers might be, and that did not bode well. Fry back to throw. Big rush. And he'll have to run for it. He does get out to about the 29, possibly the 30-yard line, so turned a sack into about a 3-yard gain as they'll put him at the 29-yard line. Second down. A long sustained drive would be nice here for the Pioneers. Take the time off the clock, score a touchdown, and not give Scott a chance to hit those big plays that they were able to in the first half. They give it to Staley on a counter, and nothing there. He may lose a yard on that one. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but that play has been effective all night long. But Wayne finally runs into a shifted defense. No gain on the play. He's going to bring up third down. Well, this is exactly what you don't want right here. He's a 3 and out after a score. The momentum shifted to Wayne. It shifted back to Scott, and it stays with them if they force a 3 and out here on this drive by the Pioneers.
It felt like it shifted back on that Clark kick return when he was able to make a lot out of that, and it like that reinvigorated the Skyhawks.
They send Murdoch in motion. They fake it to him. Fry back to throw, and he's going to be sacked. I mean, sacked big time. Looked like it was Zachary McNeely who got in there and got him. He's a big one.
When you say the pocket collapsed, I mean, it collapsed right on top of Fisher Fry there. He didn't have his initial read, and that was all there was to it.
Well, we're in punt formation without a punter. Here comes Fry. So fourth down and forever. Fry with a nice high wobbly kick, but returnable, taken at the 50-yard line by Brenniger, and he's hit. Shoestring tackle at the 48-yard line, and I believe that was Tristan Turner, and it was, who had left the field with a cramp, able to get back. But Skyhawks in the driver's seat at this point.
Anytime Brenniger has the ball, you think there's a chance he's going to go. And he just about kept his footing there. His foot actually slid out from under him after that shoestring tackle.
2:28 to go. Skyhawks have the football and a 3-point lead. And we may try to just run the clock out here. They are going to, they fake the run and pass ahead to Clark, who gets out to the 39-yard line. Coach Tom Harmon's going to have to start thinking about when to call timeouts. He's only got, he's been trying to call one for 12 seconds. Now, was it not this half that he had to call the timeout, waste the timeout on, yeah, it was. After the penalty, I had to call a timeout to keep from getting a delay, and so I think Wayne down to one timeout left. So a conversion here by Scott on 2nd and 1 could very well end this one. That was a gutsy move to throw the football there.
I think Coach Dolan trusts Matt Fry. I think he's earned that trust.
Yep.
He gave him a run-pass option play. He read that the pass was there, and he took it. And that was regardless of we're in, true clock type of situation.
Yep.
So that's just confidence in your senior quarterback, and he rewarded that confidence with a 9-yard play. I suspect Preston Cooper will be touching the ball quite a bit here.
He and Brenniger both in the backfield now, as Fry is going to come up under center. They need a yard to get a first down and a fresh set of downs, which will all but end this one. And Fry is going to keep it and bounce to the outside. He's going to score. They fake a quarterback sneak, and Fry bumps it to the outside and able to put it in the end zone. And just basically caught Wayne flat-footed right there. All there is to it. They were expecting full bore quarterback sneak up the gut. He took one step towards it, bounced to the right side, around the end, and there was nobody there to even come close to touching him. So Fry goes in for the long touchdown to make it 25-16 with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to play. Elkins will hold. Neal will attempt point after touchdown. But first they got to get a right tackle in there, and they do. Right tackle had a snack. And now we got a flag. And Scott kicked the extra point, but it called a timeout because
the play clock was a 0 too. There was a lot going on there.
Called a timeout. Well, it all started with the right guard, big number 60, and he's a big boy, Zachary McNeely. I mean, you could show a movie on that guy's hind end. He is a wide lad, and running from the sideline in took some time. I guess he was too busy celebrating the touchdown to get out there and realize they had to kick it.
There's more to this.
Yeah. So, timeout. Very impressed though with how Scott has responded here.
Yep.
The
Skyhawks were able to, found themselves down midway through the fourth quarter at home, and the crowd was a little bit quiet here, and make a play on the kick return, make a couple plays offensively, and Matt Fry does what Matt Fry does, and next thing you know, it's a 2-score lead for the Skyhawks.
But, as I said, whoever loses this one, still been a great ball game, and you hate for Wayne. We hate for Wayne to be on the losing end, but, man, they played some really good football against a very, very good Skyhawk team. The extra point is on its way, and it is good. And so, with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in this ball game, your score now, Scott 26, Wayne 16. We'll be back in just a moment on the Gridiron Sports Network.
You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 WFGH.
It's that very special time of the year, and that means it's time for high school football. This is Fred Persinger inviting you to join Dave, Jacqueline, and me every Friday night this fall for high school game night on the Metro News Radio Network. We'll bring you all the scores, stories, and interviews from high school football games being played all over the state. High school game night, 17 years and going strong. Heard every Friday night.
After the game tonight on the Superstation Network. You're listening to high school football action on 90.7 FM WFGH.
Well, after the score, the Skyhawks sent to kick it away. Wayne has got to score quick and score often, and that's just not in their DNA of this offense. And it's a squib kick up the center of up the far side. Is going to go out of bounds, so Wayne will get the ball out at the 35-yard line unless they choose to have them re-kick or unless they touched it. Did anybody touch the football?
The umpire's going to get to make another signal for us, I believe.
Looks like Wayne's going to make him kick it again. Big night for the umpire. Gets to make 2 calls. Well, they look you can tell they don't do this very often because these guys look discombobulated as far as what are we supposed to do here?
Wait a minute. I got to get a ball from the home sideline. Wait. I got to make the signal, too.
I got to put the ball down at the 40 to show that it's where it was and then move it back to the 10. Just get it back there. We know what happened.
I mean, that's the process. It just, you can tell that does not happen very often.
It doesn't happen often. They're not used to it. They need to either streamline that process or do away with it. Just say, hey, here we go. We all know what happened. Went out of bounds. Another kick to the far sideline is going to be fielded at the 32-yard line by Murdoch. And that was Mathis. And Mathis was run out of bounds at about the 36, 35. 36-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
After what Scott did to Herbert Hoover last week, and knowing what Herbert Hoover was expected to have this year coming off of a state championship game appearance last season, I think you have to look at this. You don't like the outcome, but you like the way Wayne played tonight.
Absolutely. Here's Staley with a nice little screen pass from Fry. Gets across the 40 up to about the 43-yard line. Of course, you never know. Some of those guys that how do I want to say it? Some of the folks that wound up at Hoover that maybe didn't always go to Hoover, maybe they're not there anymore.
Who knows?
Here's a pass out to Murdoch, and he gets hit and stays on his feet and rolls forward close to first down yardage. So Wayne not giving up by any stretch, and that's going to be a first down. It's just that this offense is not built to score quickly. More so now than it has been, but still. They did have a couple of nice long downfield throws, but they're not really designed, and they're going to try it here, and that ball's woefully overthrown, intended for Staley with a big rush coming.
It's going to be hard to get a lot of big plays for anyone this year against Scott just because of their team speed.
Right.
And not just the team speed, but also their tenacity up front. You don't get a lot of time to set back in the pocket.
Right.
And then, you know, there's their athleticism and speed in the secondary. You're not going to run away from them too often either.
Well, Scott, for some reason, is going to call a timeout here.
I think Coach Dolan didn't like the way they were lined up there, or maybe he saw a hand on a knee that he wants to give him a quick breather here, not give up something quick, because, hey, 1:11 left. You give up, you know, if Wayne were to score a long touchdown, onside kick, all of a sudden you're right back in the thick of things. So,
you never know. 10 points.
You definitely, you know, if you feel like you need that timeout, you definitely take it.
Lincoln High can score 63 in a minute, you know.
Hey, some bad things happened in high school football in West Virginia tonight. That wasn't the worst.
Uh-oh.
Hurricane beat Capital 93-7.
Wow.
What are we doing?
That's not.
What are we doing? I'm not talking about the score, because the score can happen. I'm talking about how Hurricane collected players this year.
Yeah.
Literally 0 starters are from Hurricane on either side of the ball. It's making a mockery of high school sports. I just
that's
don't like
where
that.
You got to clamp down.
If you want to do that, go play IMG Academy and those tools.
There you go.
Leave Capital alone.
You got to clamp down on stuff like that if you want to have true high school football. Fry throws it downfield. It's going to be caught by Estep, and he's pushed out of bounds on the far side. Gain of about 8 or 9. Depending on the spot, they're going to put him out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Scott. 44-yard line of Scott, excuse me. So gain of 8. We'll bring up third and a couple. He did get out of bounds, so the clock stops with a minute to go. Fry from the pistol. Twins either way. Back to throw. Big rush. And intercepted. Intercepted by the linebacker. Coming up with that one was number 52, and that's Ty Mitchell. And that's going to put a nail in the coffin. You go ahead and pee on the fire and call in the dogs.
Mitchell slid right into that passing window. Wayne had thrown that pass a few times tonight. I think he had a feel for where the ball was going. And when Fisher Fry saw the receiver, he was open.
Right.
But by the time the ball got there, defender slid underneath. That's excellent defense. Scott got tested here tonight.
They did. And Wayne showed some moxie here tonight as well, but they're going to come away with a loss. As Fry will take a knee, and I think we'll have to have one more snap of the football. Your final score is going to be Scott 26, Wayne 16. This game, however, as you well know, Ryan, was much closer than that. But the final snap is going to bring this one to a close. The Wayne Pioneers fall to 1-1 on the season. Scott goes to 2-0. Scott defeats Wayne 26-16, and we'll be back in a couple of moments to tell you all about it here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This football broadcast is brought to you in part by our fine community partner, Rustic Ravines. Joe and the gang will be hosting their world-famous all-you-can-eat dinner buffet Saturday, September 3rd from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085. Rustic Ravines, a proud community partner of Pioneer Football.
The real non-steel. Live from the 60s. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
Oh, that view is tremendous. We choose to go to the moon. To be self-evident that all men are created equal. Ask what you can do for your country.
Only Congress has the power to declare war.
Something has happened in the motorcade route. Something, I repeat, has happened in the motorcade route. The answer is
30 million persons found themselves without light, subways, elevators, air conditioning. Where were you when the lights went out?
Oh, yeah. Tell you something. Oh, the times they are changing.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop.
To the war in Vietnam. I am ready to lead our country. Now it's the same old song. Why don't you come with me, little girl, on a bandit trouble ride? You got live from the 60s.
And yours truly.
Real non-steel.
Yeah. Live from the 60s, Monday at 7 on WFGH.
It's time for the fifth quarter, a complete recap of tonight's game, and a look at scores from other games across the region. Now, let's go back to the press box on Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
Well, it was a 12-9 halftime score. Wayne comes out, and after a scoreless third quarter, and scored with 7 minutes left to play in the ballgame, 7:05, I believe it was actually, and took the lead on a Colt Mathis 13-yard run, 12-yard run, and took the lead 16-12. Then Scott came right back after an excellent kick return, put them in good field position, scored to go up 19-16, then a late touchdown makes the final score 26-16 as the Pioneers fall tonight to the Scott Skyhawks 26-16. In better news, the Reds have a ninth inning comeback and beat the Cubs 3-2 in the nightcap of that doubleheader. So good for them. They got a home run from Nick Martini, and then Noelle Marte game-winning single to play Stuart Fairchild. So they split the doubleheader today. So you Reds fans, at least something to cheer about.
Marshall's fifth-ranked men's soccer team, a 3-0 win. Yes, I said Neil. I've been around soccer all too long. I will not go that far off, though. I will not butcher the English language and say Marshall are. Marshall is. That's how that works. But Marshall wins 3-0 over Xavier today.
All right. Good for the Marshall men's soccer team. Are you doing any men's soccer on the ESPN?
There will be some men's soccer broadcasts. I've got women's soccer, Marshall and Gardner Webb on Sunday from Hoops Family Field on ESPN Plus. And interesting note in that one, we'll get back to football in just a second, I promise. But interesting note in that one, Gardner Webb is 1-4. They have been shut out in all 4 losses. They scored 8 goals in their 1 win. Their goalkeeper set a school record with 18 saves against Clemson. Problem is Clemson scored 9 goals that game.
That's too many
It's
shots
wild.
on goal, man.
Yeah.
27 shots on goal.
Right. I'm not blaming the keeper for this.
No.
There's got to be some defense.
There's 27. I mean, you just don't have 27 shots on goal in 5 games sometimes.
And I don't know soccer, but I know that's not good.
That's not good. I did a few soccer games on the radio, which is a lot of fun, let me tell you. I'll tell you, well, We got football talk. I'll tell you about my worst or my funnest thing, but right now let's take a quick break. Then we'll be back, and Ryan will have the stats for us as Wayne falls by a final score of 26-16 to Scott here on the Gridiron Sports Network.
This sports presentation is brought to you by our valued community partner, Rustic Ravines. Here's what the Evans family had to say about their experience.
We had the best time. Everyone was friendly, professional, and made us feel welcomed. We rented a side-by-side for a 5-hour ride with our guide through the beautiful mountains of West Virginia. We highly recommend, and we'll be back.
Rustic Ravines can be found on Facebook, or their phone number is 304-385-1085.
I am an American soldier. I'm a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I will always place this first.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat.
I will never quit.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I am disciplined.
I am disciplined. Physically and mentally tough. Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I am an expert and I am a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the
Enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
There's strong, and there's Army strong. See what it takes at GoArmy.com.
26-16 final score here tonight. Scott Skyhawks defeat the Wayne Pioneers, and to tell us how they did it, here's my broadcast partner, Ryan Epling. Right?
All right, final stats. We'll start for Wayne since they were the visiting team here tonight. And, wow. Pioneers individually on the ground. Colton Mathis, 13 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Rylan Murdoch, 2 carries, 31 yards. Jackson Dameron, 9 carries, 27 yards. Fisher Fry with 10 carries, ended up with 2 yards, but a lot of those ended up being sacks. That ended up being losses because he was up at 15 at one point rushing. Caden Hayden, 2 carries, 7 yards. Ronnie Staley, 9 carries for 24 yards. So the Pioneers on the ground, 45 carries, 165 yards tonight. Fisher Fry through the air, 14 of 23. For 140 yards, 1 interception. Grady Spradlin 0 for 1. Pioneers tonight, well, let me get to the receiving first. We normally don't have to go that far in depth with Wayne, but we do now, and that's fine. Kate Easep, 4 catches, 62 yards. Ronnie Staley, 6 catches, 52 yards. Grady Spradlin, 1 catch for 10. Rylan Murdoch, 2 catches for 10. Colton Mathis, 1 catch for 6. Pioneers put up 305 yards of total offense tonight. And a balanced attack.
Absolutely.
That was a solid offensive performance.
Yeah.
It's a very good Scott team, just 1 turnover.
I'm going to predict they had more yards than Scott.
We'll get
just a prediction.
Rushing for Scott, Matt Fry, 9 carries, 50 yards. And remember, his last 2 carries went for 50. Let me try this again. His last 2 carries went for 51 yards combined.
Right.
So he was at -1 yards rushing deep into the fourth quarter before he popped a 12-yard touchdown run around the left end, and then the fake quarterback sneak run around the right end. Excellent play.
Absolutely.
That put the game away. 39-yard run there. So Preston Cooper, 9 carries, 20 yards. Wayne did a good job between the tackles on the defensive side. Carson Brenniger, 1 carry, -2 yards. Remember, he touched the ball 9 times last week, scored 4 times. This week, 5 touches, 31 yards in total.
Mm-hmm.
And team -15 on the punt. That wound up being blocked.
Right.
We'll go with a rush stat for that. Matt Fry through the air, 12 of 18, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception tonight. Carson Brenniger, 4 catches, 33 yards. Isaiah Bush, 3 catches, 82 yards. Just as much as a kid who just goes and catches the ball, one of the more impressive kids we'll see all year.
Right.
Braden Clark, 4 catches, 126 yards. He was outstanding. Jackson McCarty, 1 catch, -1 yard. The Skyhawks had just 8 first downs on the night. Big plays, a part of that. 295 yards of total offense.
Yeah, they did. Well, Wayne did.
So Wayne outgained them by 10. They each turned it over once. Wayne had 9 penalties for 37 yards. Scott had 9 penalties for 50 yards. My friends, this was a very, very competitive, good football game. It didn't end the way the folks in red and black wanted it to, but you can live with that effort, clean up the pre-snap penalties, and this will be an enjoyable season to watch these kids.
Absolutely. You can't feel terrible. Last year, 41-6, and this year coming in here facing the number 3 ranked team in the state, and you take them to the wire.
And I think Scott, when fully healthy, which they are right now, is in that upper echelon of contenders, not just to go to Wheeling Island, but to come back with the gold trophy instead of the silver one.
Absolutely possible, especially after that performance against Herbert Hoover last week. So next week, the Wayne Pioneers have an unusually early bye week, so we will not be on the air next week, but we will the following week, and that is when, Wayne, I've got a schedule here somewhere that I had
headed to Winfield.
Oh, yeah, we're going up I-64 to Winfield, take on the Generals.
Who were impressive tonight, 35-22 win over Herbert Hoover.
There you go.
Huskies are 0-2 out the gate.
So this is going to be a tough contest once again, but Winfield a winnable ball game, I think. But man, did they tear up some things in the Cardinal Conference last year? Came out of nowhere, really, under a new head coach, and did some different things up there. And it's a different day up there in Winfield. So we'll see what happens when the Pioneers come to town in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an excellent matchup. I think the way the two teams play just matches up well, meshes well. I expect a very good, close ball game in 2 weeks. I think the type of game we had here tonight, competitive all the way to the end, I expect that to be the norm in Cardinal Conference play this year.
Absolutely. That's what we're hoping for. So we will take next week off, and Ryan is going to be out of pocket.
Hey, I'm going to a high school football game next week, and if you don't follow me on social media, well, I'm just not going to tell you where I'm going to be. But I'm going to go to a game, and I'll guarantee you, if you don't already know, if I haven't already told you, you're not going to guess where I'm going to be.
I never would have guessed where it's going to be. So follow Ryan on social media, Ryan Epling, and get his journey.
Everyone cares where I'm going next week, by the way. I'm aware that sounded very self-serving, but
by the way,
I'm kidding. But.
Before I leave, I want to tell you, I told you my weirdest broadcasting situation. The World Skateboard Slalom Championships was held in Ashland, Kentucky in 2015.
Oh. On radio.
The regular broadcaster. Well, it was on radio, but it was also on a web stream type thing. So they did have video, but it was also on the radio. Their regular broadcaster was supposed to come in from like New Zealand or something. Got held up in customs, and I was working at a radio station in Ashland, downtown Ashland, and the slalom championship was a block from our studio. I'm sitting there on a Saturday morning doing a sports show, and my boss comes in and says, you need to go up the street. I said, why? You're doing the World Skateboard Slalom Championship. I said, I've never seen a skateboard slalom championship. He goes, you'll be fine. We'll have guys. It was interesting, I'll tell you.
The terminology in that is not normal.
Fortunately, there was a great former slalom guy who came up, and he could tell I was struggling, and he said, would you like some help? And I said, here's the headset, sit down. And we pulled it off. But it was interesting. So there's my weird broadcasting story. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. Wherever you listen to us, we certainly appreciate it very much. I want to thank Fred Dameron for all his hard work getting us on the air back at studio control and trying to keep us intact, and Rick Marone and his gang intact. He's kind of tough. That's a rough deal, but Fred does yeoman's work at that. We certainly appreciate you, Fred, for all your hard work back at studio control. Don't forget to go to hazelswish.com and check out that website for us as a memorial to Miss Hazel, who I always said goodnight to, and it's hard not to have that good night, Miss Hazel.
This is my first time on WFGH since she passed, and I can't say thank you to Fred enough, and just to let him know that we truly loved Hazel.
Absolutely.
And just thought the world over, think the world over still, think the world over family, and that includes him. She lived a full life, though.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
The fun part for me, she called us her boys, me and you, and then the other crew, Rick and Randy and Coach. I can't forget his
Marone.
name.
Coach
Marone.
Yeah.
And we were her boys, and and I never called the lady. I always try to call her every now and again, just let her know how much I appreciate, what she allows us to do and so forth. And she never, ever let me go without telling me something I said. So I know she listened.
Yeah.
Something I had said the prior week that she enjoyed. Never reprimanded me for the silly things I said, but I always said something I enjoyed, and she always told me she loved me. And that meant so much to me.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm going to miss most. But as Fred and I talked, we didn't say goodbye to Miss Hazel. We just said we'll see you later.
Yeah.
And that's what we certainly feel and hope that all is well with Fred. I know he's had a tough time, and we love you, Fred, and you know that. And the community's going to rally around you. Go to hazelswish.com and help us out with that situation. You'll learn more if you go there. So for Fred Dameron back at Studio Control, Ryan Epling, this is Tim Carper saying God bless. Have a great evening, everyone, and watch for deer.
Listening to exciting Wayne County High School football action on WFGH Sports. The executive producer of WFGH Sports is Vernon Stanville. The proceeding has been a live presentation of Wayne County Sports Voice, Sports Radio 90.7 WFGH.
There has never been a better time to enroll at Concord University. Our new programs in nursing and substance use studies are great choices. Many of our classes are accessible online, or you can choose to attend in person at Concord. We have lots of pre-professional programs that will prepare you for graduate school. And our CU Rise program makes it possible to complete your degree in just 3 years. Concord is close to home, affordable, and accessible to many area attractions that you can explore. Check out Concord University at concord.edu.
Are you worried about your cybersecurity? Are you tired of being bombarded with spam and phishing emails?